and welcome to the Free Cheese, episode 161. I'm your Joe Dix, joined tonight by Marc Augustiniak.
What's up?
And Dashe Ramsey.
Hey.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week, or twice a week, I guess this time, or maybe thrice a week, depending on what happens, by thefreecheese.com.
Lies.
Marc, everybody knows your name.
Paul Versing Pancake, that's my real name.
Oh, God, you... That's the real full last name of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, because I said it wrong. I said Paul Versing and not pulverizing.
Yeah.
I understand. Thanks for bringing that up. My dyslexia. Dashe is a name that not everyone knows.
I know it.
You know it. I know it.
Yeah.
But this is your first time on the Free Cheese.
Yeah.
Episode 161. And mine too. But this is your first time on any of the Free Cheese.
All of them.
Welcome.
Yes.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I know. I've thought about this for a long time. It happened. I'm a shut-in. I'm a recluse. So the end of the world happened, and I came outside.
I'm the same way as you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a spider?
I'm close.
I don't like to be anywhere but home unless I have to go to work
Yep.
or Target. And that's kind of it.
Yeah, like you. I don't think you realize when you explained to me the fact that you lived on.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
Which I told you your life anyway. When you,
Insert bleep.
yeah, lived on whatever
fix
street. Oops. You lived on a certain street that I know of. I realized that I could literally just drive to your house.
Yeah.
In between going to my house and work to do the
It's
podcast.
halfway.
Yeah. Not that we live in this place specific. Anyway.
That's good. I'll come up with a good thing to place in there.
Fast and loose.
But it does make it it makes it easy to, it's not, I get it.
The whole point of this is that you get that I'm a recluse and I understand.
Because I'm the same. It's, even if it's like, you want to do this thing like inside of the same building that we work at after work, I'm like,
Yeah. Coming out sucks.
and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, I'm here and I appreciate you guys inviting me, even if I expose all of you to the outside world.
That's
In case you were misinformed, we don't have actual free cheese here.
It's lies the whole time.
Now,
It's because we have to restock.
who's gonna get me the cheese?
That's Kyle's job, and he took the night off.
Unacceptable.
So-
okay, well,
Yeah,
Kyle,
that's true.
I listened to you before. Just want you to know, I know you're out there. I'm coming for
He
you.
works in food service.
That's very true. He could be, he's a craft service man.
Yeah.
Dashe, what is your favorite video game? Tell the kids. I mean, what's...
That's
Yeah.
I know it changes week to week, but like if you...
better is what are some of your favorites?
That's okay. I just mean like,
Where am I?
I know.
Where am I coming from with the video games? All right.
yeah, like what's... just some general insight.
Back in the 80s, for real though. I honestly, I grew up with video games as like my actual parents almost. So, like, I was like raised by video games and 80s movies. So like, all of them is the only thing I can say. I mean, I had in television, Atari, and it just kind of went up from there.
Really?
Yeah. And it was, I'm going to let you in on a secret though. I played every video game. I don't think I ever beat a video game until I was like a full-grown man.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the first video game
I
you...
can relate to that.
First game I ever beat.
You beat.
I now that I think of it, so old Nintendo game, Legend of Kage. It's weird. There's only like 3 stages. You play this little ninja, he jumps really high in the trees. Anyway, there's like 3 stages, and at the end, like you rescue like the princess girl.
Yeah.
But you can also kill her.
Okay.
By mistake. I don't know if it was. I don't know why they did it like this, but like you get to her, and like if you hit the button at the wrong time, you just slash her, and then like the game is like restarts you, and you're like, oh, so it's weird.
It's realistic.
I guess it's realistic.
Legend of what?
Legend of Kage.
I feel like I played that before.
Yeah,
I would have to look at it.
you look at the cover,
I'm bad
you'll
with
probably
names.
recognize
I gotta look that up.
it. Yeah. But I think that's the first game I ever beat because I got to the end and I like slashed her, and it's like, oh, you start over the whole game, and I'm like, okay, I think I beat it. So I'm not sure.
I mean,
But I don't know.
Yeah,
it's the bad ending,
that probably is the bad. You're in hell. Just
or
even-
it's the good one because you had to go out of all your way just to get her.
she could have been horrible.
She could have met you halfway.
Maybe she was actually horrible.
So who knows? It's hard to translate any emotions an NES game conveys.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I paid attention to what most games told me for a long time.
They don't
like the end of Zelda 2. Zelda walks in a little closer, but the curtain
got
drops
to the end
down.
of Zelda 2?
I did.
When?
What did you do? Like pay a demon to play the game for you?
I followed a walkthrough. I'm on my task of just completing Zelda games. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to spend 3 years.
Oh, this was
doing
recent. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
Not as a kid.
Got it.
I didn't get to Zelda till later in my life, but yeah, like towards the end, like the curtain drops down, and then she walks over closer to you, assuming that she's kissing you, but
Spoiler.
maybe she's whispering threats.
Spoiler, man.
She could be.
You're welcome.
And then
it's a 30-year-old.
Nobody has to play it now.
You're right.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, as far as video games go for me, I played them all.
Yeah.
Favorites, I'm going to say that my staple series is Castlevania 2,
In the right room.
Simon's Quest. I was actually terrified to play the game when I was a kid. I had to have my dad in the room because it was a dark, terrible night to have a curse. So I did not want that to be me and happening. But after that, I mean, I became an RPG person, which contrary to how I look, I'm an RPG nerd. Japanese RPGs especially. Don't know why.
You got the hair.
Okay. Nobody, don't tell anybody. No.
Reaches the heavens.
It's one of those things I didn't realize the difference between video games sometimes. I don't know, I was a weird kid.
No, I
think
get
there's
that.
something wrong with me. I just didn't realize this is an RPG. And I just was like, and this one you shoot, and this one you jump for platforms, and this one you kind of got to wait around and press fight. So it was like, I kind of like that because I'm going at my own pace. I'm like, what do I want to do this time? I'm going to fight. So,
just get to think it out.
That's where I came from. That makes sense.
No, I get that.
RPG series?
It's hard because
I mean, I know there's probably a couple. But.
Yeah, a lot of I'll put my favorite RPG out, and I can say this without a doubt, is Xenogears. Okay,
good choice.
Favorite
PS1?
RPG, huh?
PS1.
PS1.
Yeah.
Xenogears. Because it had every single element that I love about a JRPG. It had new stuff that they'd never done before, with the whole combat system of you're creating combos, and if you do the right button combination, you learn special moves. All of it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was all kung fu. Anyway,
I love
2D.
That. I never got to play it, but I've always wanted to.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And then the storyline, of course, it's just blowing me away. So I think not necessarily series, because there's a lot of series that are some of them still around, Final Fantasy, that have great instances of my childhood. Like Final Fantasy 6 is a staple of my childhood, and 4.
Thank you.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 4 and 6 are the Final Fantasies for me. Everybody loves freaking 7. I don't give a shit about 7.
Yeah, there's two very, very real camps with Final Fantasy. It's the 4, 6 that are 2, 3, or the 7, and it's a very clear dividing line.
It's weird because I'm kind of on the line.
Okay.
Because as a kid,
that makes sense too for Marc. That's a total Marc thing.
Okay, well, I have to explain because 4 and 6, when I had a babysitter, he would play these. I would watch him play them.
I went somewhere else with that. Sorry.
He was my cousin, but he had to watch us.
Okay.
I'm still going.
Do horrible things.
Terrible.
In a basement.
Terrible.
Go on.
So I would watch him play these games, and I didn't know really what they were.
Yeah.
But I was just amazed by the overworld traveling and all that, with the dragon or the airships.
Yeah.
And so I never played them, but so I was aware of Final Fantasy, but I didn't get to play one until 7.
I get that.
When it first came out, I rented it from Blockbuster and popped it in, and I liked it. I was amazed by it, so I wanted to get more into it. So because of that, I wanted to play the older ones. And then once I discovered ROMs back in high school or middle school, then
the floodgates open.
And then I bought the actual PS1 discs of anthologies and those other ones.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I started playing them. So I played 4 and 6, and I think those are probably my favorites too. But especially 4, since they added more to it, because I want to play it in order with after years and all that stuff.
So,
but the problem is my dark secret.
Yeah, I got one too. That's what I was about to reveal.
Oh, shnikey.
I never beaten the Final Fantasy.
You've never beaten the Final Fantasy? Okay.
Mine's not that dark, but mine's kind of dark.
Tell me the darkness.
So
I know a lot about them,
I think I wrote an article on this about a year ago. Didn't we do an RPG cover story last November or 2 Novembers ago? At some point we did one.
Probably.
It's called Critical Hit. Just type Critical Hit into the website and you'll find the thing. But I think I wrote about it because I hated RPGs as a kid.
Okay.
Because my first exposure to RPGs was a friend of mine who was like, he was the Pandora's Cube kid. Like, obviously we went there and we had to wander around and go in and look at everything in that store because it was magical. But
I do like that store.
He was the one that was like actually a like hardcore
Invested,
patron.
right.
Like, let's import everything from Japan.
Yeah,
he was
like that. Yeah.
Which was, it opened me up to a lot of things. Like, that's how I played Zelda for the first time because he had that and I had no idea Zelda even existed. I was in my little Happy Mario camp and whatever. But he always played RPGs and they bored the fuck out of me because
that was why I never
he played RPGs when I went over his house.
Right. Gotcha.
Not me play RPGs.
Gotcha.
So it was a lot of that. And the only time I could play, I think it couldn't have been 5. So I think it was 4 maybe? No. One of the Final Fantasies, it was on PS1.
Okay.
You could do 2-player. But 2-player really only controlled something in battle.
That was the collections that they remade for PS1 because like both of you are player 1. Because I had a friend and I play.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like you can get both controllers and you both can take control. But we did a little thing where like, hey, you control these 2 characters, I'll control these 2 characters, and we'll determine our own moves.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, so I did not go back and play those anthologies, so I did not think.
And it was like it just didn't. It was fine, but like at that point, like I'd much rather play something else than and like he would always like scream and get really really upset if I like was just like hanging out because he wants to read every line of text. Understandably so. Like in retrospect, like of course he did, but also I'm here, so not the best.
I think like my problem was that I didn't have the mentality or like the mindset as a kid.
Yeah,
get invested into these RPGs for some reason. I was just more about like reflexing.
Yeah,
so like platformers to fighting games or something. I was more into that, and then I guess if I did getting invested, I kind of just like maybe got burnt out or stopped at a point. I was like, I'll just come back to it. And it's been like months. I'm like, I forgot what I was doing.
I do that now.
Funny enough, yeah. So like, I think now, like, yeah, like, I mean, I want to because I want to determine what my favorite Final Fantasy really is.
Exactly.
So
that's what I did. So he turned me off for years and years and years, and then I kind of realized at some point that I had been playing Pokemon forever, and that was an RPG. Yeah. A lot of games that I was playing had RPG elements, and I just sort of said like
action RPGs.
Yeah, like little things like that. And I'm like, you know what? Like I need to just go. I need to do it. So I got Final Fantasy 1 and 2, not the Dawn of Souls collection, but the one that they remade on. It was a PS1 compilation.
I think I feel like that one is the anthology.
So they had 1 and 2. You said in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that was on an anthology disc, but the first anthology to come out was 4 and 5. Yeah.
This one was, I think it was, I don't know, it was something on PS1, but I got it as a PS1 classic.
It might have been Chronicles.
Yeah, the anthology is 5 and 6.
5 and 6, and then there's one that has 1 and 2. Is 2 subtitled Dawn of Souls, or is this collection called Dawn of Souls?
Chronicles is 4 and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
that was my favorite one.
That's a good one.
I have that over there somewhere.
Yeah,
I used to have that. It's so good. Let's see, the 1 and 2 pack for PS1, right?
Yeah, that's the one I got.
Because I think they re-released that in other forms. That one's called Origins.
Yeah, okay. So I got that PS1, and then I played all the way through 1.
Okay.
Because I had bought 4, like the PSP, like really, really good re-release of 4 that had everything.
Right.
And didn't get too far in it.
Was that the one that had like all the CG cutscenes?
Yeah. It had the original...
but Chrono Trigger had animated
sprite work one, and then like it had after years built into it at the end. Like it was all like in the menus. It was like a really, really nice.
Yeah, from what I heard about,
it was like Criterion Collection style.
Yeah.
Like
for Final Fantasy 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like the PSP version apparently is like the definitive version.
Yeah,
to play
that's
of all that.
Yeah, I actually have tapped into that because that was like the only thing I had a PSP for. Apparently, was play RPGs, and that was
all you needed it for.
It was of course. But it was a really great version of that.
Yeah, because I have the Steam version, which is just the iOS version.
Oh, yeah. And they change all the sprites in the iOS stuff.
They change the sprites. They become, like, papery looking.
Yeah, because it's based off of the DS version.
Right. The PSP one, I think, had bits of like, I remember distinctly, the reason I got turned off by playing the anthology at first is because they changed a lot of the dialogue, and that bothered me some. And I don't know if they...
Load times were awful.
Load times are really awful. Yeah.
Made it unbearable.
Absolutely.
I beat 1. I didn't fuck with 2 because that game real hard.
Yeah, they're. I didn't just like you. I didn't physically play 1. I watched my friend who was like 5 years older than me. He was my best friend. He lived up the street. He would play them all, and I would just watch it for the story. And I didn't read it. He would like sit there and read the story, and I'd be like, "What happened?" And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to the cave now because the Mist Dragon." And I'd be like, "Oh, this is crazy! It's a Mist Dragon!" Like, I'd just be like entranced. And I think that's why for me, like, story sold me over everything. Like, the game could just play horribly. Yeah. But if the story was like entrenching, I would be acting it out. Like,
dang.
Yeah, that's.
So you loved Heavy Rain.
It was what?
You loved Heavy Rain.
You know, it's funny. I've only ever watched people play that game too.
That's fine.
Yeah, because I never thought there was anything worth playing.
Because the only thing you have to do is just watch your hands.
I feel like they were
hold
meant
a
to
controller.
be movies anyway.
They were. Like, I played Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah. It's a good game.
And it was a great game.
And then he did it again.
Yeah, they just made another one.
And then he did it again with Ellen Page.
And
now he's doing it again with
robots. Exactly. Which again looks great, but am I playing it? Who knows?
I'll watch the internet play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took me a while to get into Final Fantasy until like in the last probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I still haven't done I did 4. I haven't finished 6.
Now here's the true test.
Yeah.
Have you played Mystic Quest?
Mystic Quest?
Yes. No, so at some point, like after Final Fantasy 2 came out, because again, I still actually hadn't played Final Fantasy. I'd only watched up until Final Fantasy 2/4.
Yeah.
And my best friend, he was like, "Oh, this is a really hard game. I don't know if you can play it." And so he's like, "But there's a new Final Fantasy coming out. It's called Mystic Quest, and it's literally like
I remember the box art for that.
Yeah, it's literally like they dumbed down Final Fantasy for like somebody my age at that time. I don't know, it was like 8.
That's probably one I should have played.
Yeah, and it's like a mini Final Fantasy. There's like 4 worlds, 4 crystals, 4 bosses, and then the last boss. And it's like you just little things happen, and each world you get a new little companion. And it was just like that was my first time playing an RPG and like successfully seeing like my numbers go up, because that's all RPGs are. It's just numbers going up. So I was like, oh, I'm making numbers happen. I gained a level. Numbers are getting bigger. Like, this is great.
I think my first RPG was Super Mario RPG.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
yeah. Another rental.
Preach.
Paper Mario was one of my early ones.
That was a good one. The 1,000-Year Door?
That was the sequel.
The second one.
The sequel, okay.
The first one's just Paper Mario.
I remember Paper Mario was the first game my brother beat, and he was so proud of it because he's my younger brother, so he was always Tails. Like, he never got to actually play games. And then he got Paper Mario. He asked for Paper Mario. He asked for his own N64. And because we had like the gray one together, and then he got the translucent, like teal color.
Okay.
And he got Paper Mario, and he was like, "I'm gonna play this game," and I would try and like help him, and he's no, leave me alone, and like he'd sit there and he'd play it and he'd beat it. Very first game he ever beat. Jeez. And then I had to like wait for him to be done with it. I got
to the very end of that game on Virtual Console.
Yeah.
And my crap got corrupted.
Ooh.
It was it was a glitch in the game during the final fight, and like some attack happened, and it never loaded up my menu to attack back. It was just they were just standing there with the music. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
That's a bag of trash.
Yeah,
that's a real bag of trash.
You know what? Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Not to bring it back, but same thing happened to me. There's like a certain area. When I first played the game, that save, whenever I went to that area, I would get to a certain part and it would freeze. And this is after like putting hours of work, and back then hours of work was like 20 hours because I was a child. And I stopped playing the game for like a year, erased the save, came back, did it all over again, and it worked. But that was the first time I ever had a game just like fail on me. Like, I was like, what's happening? Like, I loaded up maybe 100 times trying to get past this one part, and if I walked on this one pixel, freeze the entire game.
And then, you killed the princess by accident.
Listen, I'll never get over that.
I had that. So you brought up Castlevania 2, which obviously...
Castlevania is my life.
And Castlevania 1 was my first experience of game failure.
Really?
Because I guess you can't really call it failure if it never started. Okay. But what I had, and I told this story before on the podcast long ago, my dad would just find games. Mm-hmm. Like, as you get older, you start to question, like, where were they really coming from? Yeah. But you don't question too hard because you're like,
just bring home.
Let's just keep. I got games as a kid. Yeah. That's what I got.
What happened to the last kid that played?
Yeah, it's a little.
Man, that kiddie pool.
But so he brought home Castlevania at one point, and it was just the cartridge. But it was the cartridge, and it had just that fucking image of just Dracula's face looming over and fucking whip and the castle, everything, and you're like, it was just so horrifying, and like it was scary just to like have that in my NES case. Yeah. But I wanted it so bad because it just something about it attracted me. So I'd pop it in, close the lid, press the power button, and the screen would just flicker between black and red and black and red, and the lights on the front of the NES just would not read. And every time I sat down to play my NES, I would try to play that game. Like, it was, I knew it wasn't going to work, but I just always wanted it to.
Tried to make it play, yeah.
And it haunted me, and like not in the same way that it would later, but in a way in and of itself, until I never.
That's how we learned about failures of life.
I know. Yeah. So close.
So my first Castlevania game was, unfortunately, Castlevania The Adventure.
Oh, on Game Boy. Game Boy, yeah. That sounds great.
The music is amazing.
Okay, well.
But
I can't deny that.
My first one was Dawn of Sorrow.
Dawn of Sorrow. That's
a
good
one
to start with.
I got into it late, and then I did Portrait of Ruin.
I always get them mixed up. Dawn's the first one with Soma?
The second one.
Second one with
DS
Soma.
One with,
but it is with Soma.
It's all anime looking.
Yeah.
Which only anime looking in America, because in Japan they had the original art. I can't remember her name, but she's the one who did Castlevania Symphony of the Symphony of the Night's artwork. I can't remember
her last name's Kojima.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, you're right. And but anyway, I was always really mad. But then I read an article talking about how it's like, oh, we wanted to make sure that other people who like anime want to play this game, and I'm like, no,
it was really dumb.
Make it creepy.
I mean, like, I didn't have a problem with it. Yeah. But now knowing like everything and before, it's like, oh, okay.
Now I kind of want to go back and play the Japanese version and see what it looks like.
I mean, I wanted to just see the art for Alucard. Spoiler. Okay. Alucard. It's like 15 years.
Oh yeah, I forgot what name he went by in that.
Something terrible.
I feel like it started with a K.
Crucifix with a K?
Backwards.
Not Dracula's.
Yeah. It could have been Konami because that's just as scary.
Yeah. Sure. Now it is.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
I know.
we all just grumble under it. Motherfuckers. Are we going to talk about Survive now?
No.
But just real quick, Portrait of Ruin also froze me at the end.
Oh.
Did what?
Final boss fight in Portrait of Ruin froze me.
Froze on you. Yeah. I thought you were saying the name of the final boss.
The game crashed.
I understand.
So, as Castlevania, the true horror is that mostly it didn't work.
Yeah.
That's like...
I mean, I got it all to the variant. I mean, it
or that
works.
You had to play the Game Boy game.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sorry, I keep bringing it back to Castlevania, but it's my life. Okay?
Never apologize for bringing it back to Castlevania.
I want to make Castlevania. I want to make my house look like a Castlevania castle. Like, I would need chandeliers.
You're gonna have another roommate because Joe's gonna leave this house.
Okay, well, Joe, come on over. We're gonna make Castlevania the house.
Yeah.
But I never owned Super Castlevania 4. Until I was at BJ's Wholesale, and they used to have that bin full of old video games.
Yes.
And I don't know, it was like 5 years after Castlevania came out, and I just saw it there, and it was like $20. And I'm like, all right, I bought it. But in my mind, I was like, why is this game so cheap? Because back then I had no concept of money, and I was like, something must be wrong with this game. So I was looking for problems, and I was convinced that they had replaced the sprite of Simon Belmont with like a hand-drawn one. Like, I kept looking at it and I was like, I feel like he looks weird. I feel like this is not the right sprite. And I was like 12.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like a grown man. A grown boy just sitting there like, somebody took this game apart and put a hand-drawn sprite. I didn't know how video games worked. I was a dumb kid.
I love the music in that one.
Oh, that was great. I had played that soundtrack to write to.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good, that soundtrack.
We talked about this recently, didn't we?
We did. I think I was probably listening to the soundtrack.
Because I was telling you that I don't get the appeal for Super Castlevania 4. I have not given it an earnest shot. I will say that.
Right.
I think the most, like, you're not alone in that. I mean, I'm okay with it, but like, it's not the one I would go to right away. I think it's just because a lot of people are like, oh, there's you get items, but they're useless because the whip does everything. So
right,
true.
You don't need the items.
Certain bosses you need it for.
There are certain bosses you could beat in like a half a minute.
But I guess because you can go at any angle now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
it does make it like
that noise that the whip made was amazing.
I'm gonna very soon. I will go back and give it a real shot.
Listen, we'll do it for a video thing and just like.
Yeah, because we did a whole series of Kyle never played Castlevania, so I could just do Joe never played Super Castlevania 4. Because I think that's the only one outside of the PS2 ones that I haven't really played much of.
That's a for me it's like what made me remember like, oh, there's a series called Castlevania, because I remembered Castlevania 2 and 1, and then I kind of like just didn't get it. Again, dumb kid. And then I was like, oh, there's a series of things called Castlevania, and that was like the next one I played that I was distinctly like, this is awesome. I want my house to be.
It was just the browns. That's what.
The browns.
It was all brown. It was really all brown.
That's what it was, because to me, it's always like fucking Simon's Quest is just like dark and weird and purple and gray and just.
Super Castlevania was brown. But when you get to the third or fourth stage, and it's like that jazz music, you'll understand.
All right, fair enough.
It's like this jazz tune that picks up, and when you're like in the water level, and you're just like, woo! All
right,
get down.
I mean, I owe it to myself too.
Yeah,
and I owe it to Castlevania.
Just do it. All right.
The one reason I haven't jumped, there's a few that I've left, is because I know I'm never going to have another new Castlevania, so it's still a new Castlevania to me. So I've kind of like been okay just not touching these things.
I forgot.
And
I literally forget that the most evil company in the world.
What's the most favored?
Make the most favorite.
They're one of my favorites.
Most of my favorite games have come from Konami.
Yeah.
I've never played Metal Gear, but
me neither.
You never played a Metal Gear at all?
I mean, I have attempted, but my friend, he plays them, and I know everything about it, and I've watched them, so I felt like I kind of, in a sense.
I played some of.
I definitely respect the series.
I played the demo for 2 that came with Zone of the Enders.
Oh yeah,
because my friend had to run out and get Zone of the Enders.
That's a series I want to play.
And I played the demo. I just ran around looking at fake boobs in a locker and crawling around in a box.
I mean, that's what that game is about.
Right.
The boxes and the boobs.
And then I went back, because I tried to do same thing. Like, when I went back to Final Fantasy, I was trying to do 1, 2, 3, and go, in order of release. Mm-hmm. So I went back and tried to do 1, 2, 3 of Metal Gear, and I playing 1 again on a PSP Go. Not great.
Yeah. I played them all, except for I didn't play any of like the PSP ones, because there was like Metal Gear Acid, that I didn't play that one. I only played basically 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I played the remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, which was
Twin Snakes.
The Twin Snakes.
The GameCube.
Which is awesome, because they got the guy that directed that movie Versus, so it was just like crazy kung fu combat. But it's like, I played all of them, and then when the story kept going back to Big Boss Snake, I honestly don't care about Big Boss as much as I care about Solid Snake. I was like, you know what, Solid Snake's story is done. That's all I really cared about. Like, I'm done. Yeah. And so after that, it was kind of like I just understood the rest of what was happening, but I just gave up.
So you didn't play 5?
No, I didn't play 5.
Fuck it.
Yeah, and it's like
it'll be forever incomplete.
That's true. It also is like sad. It's like, you're just playing this. It's like you're playing somebody's Carcass. Because you have, it's like Hideo Kojima's Carcass. You're like just going over, this is Hideo, this is all his love was put in his game, and then I don't want to play that. Like,
you want to see it when it was alive, it was real, and there was like a future.
I want to know when he's got plans for stuff to happen, or at least he's saying like, this is a goodbye letter to the world. I don't feel like it's that. It's like a Carcass.
You want to appreciate the artist.
Yes,
I get that.
Yes.
Well, Mark, you wanted to catch up on last week.
Yes.
So Kyle and I convened Thursday night, did a little show in response to, obviously, the Nintendo Direct. But you texted me and had problems, or...
Did I say that?
No, but you. It was like, hey, I have some things to bring up.
Yeah, because I know last time when I did catching up, it was kind of a big chunk. Like I had a little opinion on like everything that was said. This time I just took what I was just more interested in.
Okay.
But yeah, the first part it was. All right, so last time I brought up that you didn't have outro music, and I questioned it.
Oh, yeah.
This time you didn't have intro music, but you had outro music.
Fuck, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, man. I don't know anything.
You're becoming like the Nintendo of this podcast.
Whoa.
That was a joke. But
He's got to
I can't be mean, but I was saying, like, you know, it's like you ask for one thing and you get it, but at the price you take away another part.
He's about to cut you out of this right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, this whole bottom one here that says Marc on it.
That's the part I was like, I think I should cut this out and not say this for the podcast.
You know what it is? Like, and honestly, I got to the end and I put in the middle music and I was like, this is good. Yeah. This is good transition music. And then I was like, oh shit, Marc said I didn't put anything at the end last time. I got to put something at the end. I put something at the end and then I fucking hit share. I hit or export to MP3. I go to post it. And then I went, oh fuck, I didn't put intro music. I was like, it's too late. We've come too far.
I'm just messing with you though. It's really not a big deal. But
but it always softens my voice because I always scream right at the beginning because I never know exactly how close I need to be for that.
Hey, here's cheese.
No, I laughed when that happened.
Fair.
But no, but the real thing I wanted to get to when you brought up what's that one game, Vidar?
Oh yeah, that wasn't part of the Nintendo Direct. That was the
it was like the indie game, like the lawyer.
Oh yeah.
I like that. Mm-hmm. That was really good.
That was
good. Yeah. I like it was really inspiring. Just the details that you brought up about it and everything. Actually, I researched it and went to the website and like I was this close to pre-ordering it right there.
Shut the fuck up. So can I give you some insight on that?
Yeah,
I love the art on that.
You and I and Kyle, when we were getting Free Cheese back up and running back in June, we talked about like what is this, and we kept calling it Rebirth because I was aping on DC's like reboot that they were doing, but. I really did feel like we were coming into this with like a new, fresh like thing. Mm-hmm. And then at some point I told you guys that kind of how I'm approaching the Free Cheese as we move forward and how I really want it to be about the story.
Yeah.
But that's expanded a little bit. So it's just when we sit down and we talk about the podcast, it's like what story are we trying to tell in our story and how we interact with the game. But that can stretch to when we write a review of something, we're really just telling the story of how we spent time with that game and how we feel about it enough to give it a nice little numerical number.
Explaining like, where that sentimental value came from.
Yeah, but anything like now we've been doing cover stories. We've been focusing a lot on making the site feel and look like a magazine and just sort of telling a story in that format. And then I sort of realized that like with show and tell, because we've been doing that segment, and I realized that the way I've been approaching it is like just sort of repackaging news segment and turning into that. Yeah. And last week I was like, no, fuck this. Like, what kind of story can I tell with show and tell?
That's a good one though. Like, I loved how, because just the idea of it, it's like how anything can just literally happen. Just like, I mean, he had no intention.
Yeah.
Of ever
that even happening. That. Yeah, like
But just how, and in like that one little moment, your whole life can last with you for so long that like you just find a way to express yourself about it, and it just stays. I don't know. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean the way you described it, definitely like the whole concept of like no matter what, all these people are gonna die. Yeah. So it's just like the different ways and things that you can go about it, the different choices you can make. The game's gonna be different every time you play it, like you said, but it's just what's gonna happen at the end, and it's kind of like if you've ever watched a movie and you know what's going to happen, and every time you're like, that person, if they just made this choice, are they going to make it this time? And they're not. Yeah. And playing it out that way, I feel like that's definitely more of an emotional connection that you can only make in a video game format. Mm-hmm. And the fact that this guy switched his whole life, choices around to do that. I mean, I'm jealous. Like I heard that and I was listening to. I'm cutting the grass. And I'm like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm jealous. Like, this is crazy.
I love how that's a way that like somebody can just pour their heart out and have people dive into that.
I know.
And like get inside their head a little bit and see where they're coming from. It's just
I like his whole story. If you're not familiar and you don't feel like listening to an hour and a half to pick through it from last week, we were talking about there's a story that Kotaku ran about a guy named Dean. I don't remember his last name now. Kavaz something.
Look it up.
I forgot his name too.
He's a lawyer turned video game developer, and he basically just quit his day job to make a video game after realizing how much he loved making video games by creating an RPG for his wedding invitation.
Which I like that too.
That was so cool. Like,
again, jealous that I don't come up with that yet.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I had to look and see like what it looked like.
It's cool looking.
It is.
Like, it reminds me of something that I've seen before, but I've also never seen before.
Because like I was expecting just a palette swaps of like little RPG Maker characters. And no, this looks like something you would play on a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I actually got worried when you said RPG Maker. As soon as you said RPG Maker, my brain turned off. I was like, okay, it's going to be... Which, I mean, there are great games that have been made.
But you kind of...
But yeah, you kind of get this idea that it's not... There's not as much polish as you're going to want. And yeah, when I looked that game up, I was like, holy crap. Like, yeah.
Because I don't remember how it happened. I think I did one of those things where like I just fell down a you should follow like suggestion ring on Twitter, and I found this girl, and her profile picture was like a really cool looking pixel art thing.
Okay.
Right.
And it said like, because you know how it does a little like, it just gives you their thing, a short little brief section of their bio, and then the follow button. And I was like, I don't know if I should follow her, but I like that thing. Right. And like, you really can't go off of anything. So I click on it, and I was like, oh, and I start looking through like stuff that she'd made. It's like, whoa, like this art's really cool. Like, I'll follow this girl just to look at her pixel art all the time. And that was a while ago. And I remember she talked about like making art for a game called Vita. Like, it was a whole,
that's
all
awesome,
came full circle.
Yep.
I guess I have two things about the Direct.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's get the amiibos out of the way. No, it's nothing but good.
Okay.
No, like the only one thing that's a little weird is the 8-bit Link, and I'm only saying this is weird because in the sprite you don't see a nose face forward. So when you have it in 3D, him having a nose facing you, it looks off. I'm sure the side view will look amazing. Sure. But the front view, I have to get used to it.
Because that actually, yesterday I ordered the 30th anniversary Mario 8-bit amiibo on Amazon. Yeah. I was thinking again about the Direct, and I was like, fuck, that amiibo is going to be cool as shit. And then I was like, let me go right now. So tomorrow it should be showing up.
That's cool. And, but yeah, just to touch on the Ocarina of Time Link amiibo.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I crap on that game, I love that amiibo. Because I love that it's not just a generic pose of him with just, like, holding a sword. Like, this shows a little bit more character.
Yeah.
And it's something a little more, like, elegant.
Yes. It was really, really good looking.
Honestly, I know why you collect them. I've never been interested in collecting them because I just know it's a money pit. Like, I have vinyl toys out there.
Like, even if I didn't want them, I have to get them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've never even sometimes looked at them, but that is one that when I looked at it, I was like, all right.
Yep.
If I'm gonna get it,
$12, you could do one.
Yeah.
But then you end up like that with that fucking shelf.
That's my problem. I know it won't just be one.
And then the one part that made me laugh. Well, I guess I'm getting Tank Troopers now.
Oh yeah. It does. It's a Marc game.
When I saw it, I was like, this could be interesting. But I don't know if I'll get it. And then once you brought that up, I was like, fuck, no,
it's a Marc
I'm doing
game.
It now. I'm getting it now. So
well, bringing up the Direct. I thought about something. So we talked about we just basically rehashed like, this is what happened. These are the events. Here's some slight reactions. Period. But I started thinking about something. Super Mario Maker on 3DS. Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World on 3DS. And all these things that are sort
of... A lot of Wii U ports.
Wii U things coming to
like 4
3DS.
in that Direct.
And then I saw a picture on the internet.com today of... it was this.
And then there's technically that Xenoblade.
Yeah, that was going to mention that.
And this, for folks listening at home, is all of the different software that has been brought between both 3DS and Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it. And looking back on it, it's like, oh shit, NX, if this thing is a hybrid, like this could work.
Oh, and also, you're right. Yeah,
so it's like the precursor to the...
Yeah. And because when we first heard about NX, the very first thing when Iwata just said it's a new console with a brand new concept. Mm-hmm. I wrote an article called "What is Nintendo NX?" and it was just sort of what I saw, or what I believed it to be based on the past. Because if you look at Nintendo, and that's the one thing that the point of that article was really like looking at Nintendo. They don't waste an idea. Mm-hmm. Like,
we're not talking about Metroid. Let's go.
I mean, yeah.
No,
they don't.
I was gonna say the PlayStation 1.
I mean that they don't. They don't let an idea get away. Like,
no, you're true.
An idea
they keep a lot of things in a vault and they'll use it for later.
But it could be something small, like I don't know, like camera angles,
very minute detail or something.
Yeah, they thought of something to do in Ocarina of Time, and we didn't. They never used it, but it turned up 15 years later in Splatoon, like shit like that. But I kind of looked at that and saw, like the 3DS really started back in the 80s on the Famicom disk system with the 3D. What was it called? I don't know.
Not even.
But they had like a 3D thing.
Even before that.
What's that?
Game & Watch.
Yeah. There's game.
I mean, for the DS in general, but the 3D aspect.
The 3D thing.
Right,
they've been trying to do that, or they did that back in the family computer days. And again with Virtual Boy and whatever. And there's little things like that of their history where like they really haven't innovated anything in a very long time. They've just iterated on things that they've come up with in the past and made them better. The Wii U, or better yet, Wii U to an extent, but really like the way that like the 3DS could be used as a Smash controller.
Right.
Was the Game Boy Advance playing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
That's true.
Things like that. So
you're right.
Looking at like what they've done to where and how that can bridge them to where they're going. I was thinking about 3DS version of Super Mario Maker. Specifically, what that told me is one, that game was enough of a success that they would decide to port it to 3DS. Yep.
Not only that though,
even on the Wii U, right?
It's technically cross-played. Because you can play some Wii U maps that are made from that.
Right. So there's 3DS. A common architecture right there already. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're definitely going to get a Super Mario Maker port on NX.
There'd have to be. Hopefully with even more content.
But two, the fact that like there is that common architecture between the language there and that they're able to port so easily. I feel like a lot of this shit was
also with Smash. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Smash was built from the ground up. There was that.
Yeah. But at least the idea was there. At least that was their intention.
True. But this, I feel like there's a lot of like there's these things like Yoshi, Pikmin on 3DS even. They come from this like seemingly apparent understanding of the shared environment, shared development environment. Mm-hmm. Like they're starting to understand how to work together because before they were very isolated teams. Mm-hmm. You had your home console and your handheld console.
And if you noticed.
They were separate.
With some of the games, they have an option of like, hey, you want to send Nintendo your data so we can, blah blah. And I actually say yes because it's like
I know I do. Like every other company,
what I'm doing and learn from this.
I do. I just had this conversation with someone where I was like, I feel grossed out by every other. I was telling Tyler about it yesterday. Like any other company that's like, we're gonna do this. Like we're gonna read your emails.
Yeah,
I'm
Google.
Like,
no.
That's gross.
I mean, you're doing it anyway, but no.
Yeah, but it's real gross. And Nintendo, I'm like, no, please watch me play my games. Well, please. Is there a camera I can turn on?
I remember people complaining about the Me app that came out. And like they're asking like marketing questions to us. Like, and you're just like, yeah, sure, man. Nintendo, here's all my information about what I do with my life. You're just giving it up.
Yeah, these are the two types of credit cards that I have, and just kidding. Nobody gives me credit cards.
Take my PayPal.
Yeah. But I am curious to see what the future holds. It would be lovely if we heard some news about NX, but I think that this was a peek into they get it. Like they get it. I think they get it.
They starting to because the only place that I feel like that they failed is that some of their series I feel like would do so much better if they put them back onto the console. And so that's why I'm actually so excited for the NX because weeding out whether it's like, oh, is this a 3DS game? Do I feel like playing this type of game on a 3DS? I wish it was on a console. And like, I'm glad that if rumors are true, that's what I'm going to be able to look forward to because there are things like Animal Crossing. Like,
yes.
I need that to come back to a console. I do. Like, that's like the only game that my girlfriend plays. Like, she's not an avid gamer like I am. But that game literally consumed her life. And I felt like if it would be on a console or something that she could do back and forth, That's it.
Yep.
Like, I will never see her again. Mission accomplished. No.
Yeah.
I love the girl to death.
You lost in that castle.
Yeah, just it's what I hope more than anything.
That's a good point with that specifically, because I remember when New Leaf came out, and that was right when I got my 3DS. It was a couple months after New Leaf, and that was my first Animal Crossing, and I completely, like, you remember, like, every podcast was like, well, I spent 15 hours playing Animal Crossing in one day. Like, every week was me.
Just hanging with my buddy Roll.
I was like, well, you know, he moved out. We're not going to talk about Roll. Okay, I'm very upset still. It's been years.
Oh, that's cold.
Fuck you. God damn it.
Put them roaches in your house.
But that was Frank. But I would talk about how many roaches I stomped, or which thing I got, or the fact that I spent like a really long time drawing this picture so I could wear it as a T-shirt. And that would be a perfect. Like, I know that'd be one of the things that if we had, because I never played the GameCube game, but I know that it was your hub. Like you and whoever else lived in the house could go, and you'd have your own virtual house, neighborhood kind of thing, and
leaving little notes for each other.
Yeah, and I felt like that would have been a cool thing for Katie and I, but there's no.
Yeah, there's no like central.
The last one was Wii, and I'm not gonna pull out the Wii version in 2016. Just
no point.
Speaking of Animal Crossing, while we're picking up on Nintendo Direct things, I had another thing.
Oh, that's right. If it's the same thing, I'm thinking
mobile homes.
No. What?
No.
So.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say they had their own special direct for that.
They do coming. It got dated for November in Japan, but here we still don't know. But I'd assume somewhere. But that update is coming December 2nd for New Leaf. Welcome Amiibo. Some connection that I heard on another show that I didn't think of was in this thing. What they did tell us in the direct was that we're getting an update that allows you to scan cards. New cards to get villagers that have never appeared in an Animal Crossing game, or not in New Leaf.
Right.
And they're coming from mobile homes.
No, these are brand new.
Brand new villagers.
They were never in
Okay,
other
so
games.
never in, brand new. And they're moving in from mobile homes. Which, why did we not get that information now?
You mean, why did they...
They obviously can tell us everything about Animal Crossing if they want to.
I mean, they probably could tell us everything about the NX, but we're not getting it now. I mean...
But I think the reason they're not is because we don't know about the Animal Crossing mobile game yet.
Right.
But the fact that there are mobile homes in this...
Mobile
homes.
This is like a conspiracy arc now. It's like a beautiful mind. You're connecting all sorts of shit up there, man.
So, do you think that the Animal Crossing game on iOS will be a version where you create your own... You're in a mobile home and you're going to different towns.
You can port it to the NX Animal Crossing.
Well, definitely that. But even in the short term, you can go to the 3DS version in some way. Because we know it's getting a big update. Why the fuck would you update a 3-year-old game?
Because I have yet to see a game where you can transfer between a phone and a handheld or a console. But if that's the first to do it,
go back to the original. I'm sure you guys have done this, right?
Engage.
Where you read the but you read through all of the shareholders documents that are released by Nintendo, right? All the time. You guys read all of those presenter notes, the whole keynote slide they have.
Nope.
Okay. Well, in there they have a. Now I feel this is what I do with my life. So there's I'm indicating towards the wall.
Yeah, there's a projector.
There's a projector, and up on there's the slides. And then after the fact, we can look at the slides.
Okay.
And one of them was this thing. It was a graph, and it talked about this ecosystem they were attempting to build. And it had 3DS, Wii U, and NX. And then it had mobile, PC, and something else that I don't remember now.
Another thing.
It was something.
The second Nintendo reaches PC.
No. Not that they were going to PC.
I know. I'm saying
it was a bridging of their services.
If they ever did, their whole fabric is ruined.
But no, the point was that their plans were to sort of bridge the gap between all of these things and make sure that they were communicating with one another, and that was the goal of their partnership with DNA and mobile.
Oh, right.
Here it is. Yeah. So tablet, smartphone, PC, and on the other side you've got Nintendo 3DS, Wii U, and dedicated game system NX. And it says in between this Venn diagram that the goal of everything is to jointly develop and operate a new membership service that encompasses smart devices and dedicated video game systems. That new membership service is now what we know of My Nintendo. Mm-hmm. And again, I think that was their original thing. They wanted to bridge the gap between all these and make sure that these are connected with those and that's connected with everything.
Streamlining, because that was their biggest problem.
Right. So why couldn't they? Why wouldn't they be doing mobile homes and Animal Crossing, bring it into...
That's a good point.
That was amazing.
That
was amazing work you did.
There's a real gross thing inside my brain. You talked about being a weird kid. I have this gross encyclopedic knowledge of South Park.
Okay.
Just because I've just studied it so much. So, like, if you just say, like, a phrase, I'm like, oh, yeah, Season 3, Episode 12.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by the way, that aired on June 6, 1997. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just know whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dash. You want to know how Joe spells brain?
Brian?
B-I-N-G.
Dash knows. We talked about Bing. we talked about Bing. You get cool stuff if you type in Zero Suit Samus.
Listen.
So
just make sure that moderate filter is off. Good times.
But that's the thing. I kind of go way too far with certain things. Like, I don't want to know what I'm missing out on by knowing that much about, like, Nintendo's shareholder meetings. Mm-hmm. But I do.
I mean, but see, that's the kind of stuff I think about, but without getting that information. I will just be in my head of, like, brainstorm all these different things. Like, what could this lead to? It could lead to this, maybe. Oh, but what about this detail?
But I'm putting all those... I need to... It's that Russell Crowe shit.
It's that Russell Crowe shit. Make your brain work.
Who knows? Time will tell.
So other than that...
But when that happens... You know.
Yeah. We'll all look back at you and go, holy shit, what's wrong with you?
Other than that, from last episode, I wanted to do the lightning round.
Oh, yeah. We could do some lightning round. Dash, you want to be a part of lightning round?
I would be honored.
I got the questions.
You have the questions?
Yep.
Good, because I have mine, but I don't have Kyle's.
I have them all.
All right. Do you want me to read them so you can react to them?
All of them.
I mean, I have my answers on here.
Oh, all right, go.
Okay, so Perfect Dark or GoldenEye?
Perfect Dark.
It's a GoldenEye, but I have a story for that later.
All right.
Yo Gabba Gabba or Yo MTV Raps?
Gabba Gabba. I didn't like rap.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
I was dumb. I was the worst kid.
Gabba Gabba. Mm-hmm. Would you rather be famous for falling downstairs or famous for eating?
I'm fat already, so eating, it's done.
I want to be famous for eating.
Yeah. In my head, it was more of like do you want to be the guy who ate like too much of one thing? Like, oh, this guy died because he ate.
Yeah, sure.
Like
I died doing something I loved.
Mm-hmm. Or a dog. Yeah.
Like he ate. Like, it was like an eating contest. Like, that was what it was in my brain. Like, this guy was in a hot dog eating contest and ate 3,700 hot dogs, and then just his body was nothing but hot dogs.
I thought it was like in a live situation where it's like, oh, this guy survived by eating other people to live. You know what I mean? I was going to dark. That's
the beauty of lightning round.
Yeah,
it's ambiguous.
Yeah, it's food.
Fuck it. Go.
Wet blanket or wet dream?
Wet dream.
Yep.
That was
wet dream because it leads to a wet blanket. So
that is
two birds.
Like, you can't escape. You cannot escape.
It's pretty good.
Would you have a gray or colored N64 controller?
Gray.
And my answer was clear.
Did they have just a clear, regular, like light?
I mean, like the colored ones, but I'm pretty sure they might have.
I'm pretty sure they did. Cleared one because I feel like I saw through it.
Yeah.
I had like the purple one. I had another one that was Sean had the turquoise-ish one.
I feel like even if it was off-brand, I don't know, but
it might have been.
But I'm thinking like this clear, like a water bottle.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there is one that does exist.
It's like that, maybe a little bit more frosty,
kind of like
smoky.
Boy.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing in my head.
Okay.
Mystery thriller or action adventure?
Mystery thriller.
Mr. Thriller.
I think because that goes more toward, again, the Castlevania side of my brain.
Yeah,
when I think of mystery thriller.
Yeah.
Okay, because you steal a man's soul and make them your slaves. That's a mystery.
Yeah,
right there, and a thriller.
I love horror elements in anything. But yeah, that's the lightning round.
Very good.
The only story I have for Perfect Dark, to get that out of the way.
Oh yeah.
It's appropriate because it's N64 month.
Yeah.
My birthday.
Yes, you have a birthday.
I think it was my 12th birthday.
Uh-huh.
I had gotten the game for it. I believe... Wait, no. Maybe I didn't. No, I did. I can't remember the game. I'll whatever. Get back to you on that. Anyway, the point is that I was not able to play my 64 that entire night. I had all my friends stay the night over, right? Uh-oh. It's about like 8 to 10 people. They're all playing Perfect Dark until fucking like 5 in the morning, until sunrise. That's the first time I stayed up all night and saw the sunrise up. And they played Perfect Dark that entire night.
On your birthday?
On my birthday, on my 64, you bastards. No.
But... Why is Ted in my house putting up my star on my tree?
But yeah, so I was like, I never want to play this game or see it again.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, no, actually now, like, I have played it. I've tried it out, just the campaign. But they were just doing multiplayer the entire time.
That was what was so good about that fucking game.
Here's the thing.
And I couldn't get in on the fun either.
Can I be honest? I never played the multiplayer of either of
Really?
GoldenEye. I missed that whole period of time because none of my friends got N64s.
Yeah.
We were like the Sega Saturn kid, PlayStation 1 kids. And so the only person I knew who had an N64, and when I played those games, he was just like, I'm not good at multiplayer, so I'll just watch you play the single player campaign. So I literally only played the single player campaigns of those games.
I think all I did was just listen to the Walkman I got, and I just had my Beastie Boys CD, Hello Nasty, on loop. That was my birthday after Skateland.
Well,
that was.
This shapes a lot of what I know of you now.
Yeah, good or bad.
It just shapes it.
Oh, okay. That's bad.
It's real bad. No, we did a lot of because I remember we were always a one console per generation kind of thing. Like it was NES, then Genesis, but then we did this weird shift where we got a PS1, and I was like, great, I love this thing, and then not too long after it was like N64. Mm-hmm. And then I remember GoldenEye like just forever, because it was just like I remember like summer was spent with GoldenEye. Like that's
probably a game I played the most, but I never got good at.
I hear about it a lot from people. People just rave about it. I just never,
because it was like that early like.
It was like an early multiplayer game.
Yeah,
like even back then, I knew the controls were crap.
Oh, it was fucking awful. It was terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
But my brother and I would just like sit in that bathroom level and just like. Dude, like, we would just...
Was he Odd Job?
Always. Sean was always Odd Job. Like, he was exclusively...
Ankle biter.
Yeah. And he knew what he was doing, too. Wow. And Sean... It was fitting, though, because Sean... Like, now Sean's, like, a couple inches taller than me, and he's, like, tall and, like, a real deep voice. Mm-hmm. But, like, he was always, like, little Sean... Like, it was always little Shawnee, and he was always, like, my little brother, and everyone was always little Shawnee running around. And that was just who he was. So Odd Job was perfect because Sean was just this little, and Sean was a little fucker too. Because he like, oh God, he was like Eddie Haskell. Like that's a dated.
Kind of descriptions.
It's a dated ass reference because like that show didn't exist when I was around, but no one knows what that is now.
No, I barely remember what you're talking about.
But that I almost choked on myself. Eddie Haskell, he was the kid on Leave It to Beaver who just like. Whenever Mrs. Cleaver came in, he would just suck up and like, hey there, but like behind her back, he was like, I want to fuck that woman. You know what I mean? Like, he was just like,
you knew he was just as a kid. He was just like, I'm going to fuck that.
Yeah, over and over. And he was always like stealing money from Beaver, and like, you know what I mean? I might be misremembering it.
How do you remember this shit?
I'm going to ruin your life in more ways than you can imagine, Beaver.
Nick at Night did some weird shit in the 90s, but or it might be like some other weird shit popping up. Who knows?
Nick at Night just made me switch to Cartoon Network.
Oh, shit.
That didn't exist when I was young. I had to watch Get Smart and Green Acres. Okay?
Green Acres.
Actually, I grew up watching, I can't think of it right now, the Andy Griffith Show.
Okay.
That wasn't even on Nick.
See, my parents both love that goddamn show, but that whistle, when I hear it, I want to scream. Like, and I hear it right now, and like, my back got hot, and I hate it so much.
Go ahead.
I was like, every time I see a Martian, and I get flashbacks of Perfect Dark, and then I want to scream.
Just rage out on that thing. Yeah, that whistle definitely... It like makes me sick.
And I almost want to do it now just to get it out of my head, but I can't. I can't bring it to life.
I feel like that was one of those shows that came on after a cartoon, so it was like a period of how you knew reality was coming. Kind of like, you know, when you're watching Saturday morning cartoons, and then like a dog show would come on.
Yeah,
it'd be like, this is now the dog fashion show, and you're like, what is
happened? Oh, okay, it's time to do something else.
Oh yeah, like Saturday mornings ended with like infomercials or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
And like you didn't like. Well, the worst thing about infomercials is you had no idea it was an infomercial until like 15 minutes in, where you're like, "This is a 15-minute commercial. What are you trying to sneak?
Wait,
reality?
where's the cartoons?
No,
that was what made it so good. Did you ever see the David Cross was behind it? I don't remember the name of it now. Icelandic Blue.
Oh
no,
it aired like 3 times. It's the most genius piece of media ever.
Icelandic Blue.
Something like, I'll have to figure out. If you type in like Icelandic Blue Adult Swim, it came on at 4:30 in the morning, and not on April Fool's. It was just there, like a random. And they only did it a few times, and it was like.
Yeah.
You didn't know what it was. I still don't know what it is,
right,
because it's a fake thing. But they made it seem like one of those moments where you just like you're watching something on Adult Swim, and then the next thing that happens, like it's
okay. It's like the Too Many Cooks thing, where you're like, what's going on?
It was a little bit like that. Yeah, it was like
or like unedited footage of a bear.
It was like that, but it was like part of it was like a fan. And it was like, they kept calling it Icelandic Blue, and there's like some guys in khakis, so like they're talking about it. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a fan commercial. And then like it cuts to like a woman who's like singing like this like really weird like Gaelic sounding song near a river, and it's like, wait, is this like a tampon commercial? what's happening? And then like, it kept switching. Like then it was like a guy putting on cream, and it's like, what is this commercial about? Like, what's the product? And then that was the whole thing, is they never tell you what it is.
Right.
But they did it so perfectly, like where they just flow right into it, and you don't know.
It sounds like a color you would find at like Home Depot for your walls.
Oh yeah, you're putting up swatches.
Yeah.
We could probably do well painting the basement Icelandic Blue. Podcast stuff.
I feel like it would be cold somehow.
Oh yeah, fuck that. We don't want that. Never mind.
I don't know how it would make it work. You don't see, but I feel like
no, but that makes sense.
You're just like, I'm going to be cold.
I did the same thing. We did that when we painted my brother's walls as kids.
Really?
His went blue, and I went, that looks cold. I'm painting mine forest green because it's as close as black as Mom will let me get.
And I close to my goth heritage as I needed.
And I can't use Sharpies. I ran out.
Yep.
It's like one little splotch on the side.
Oh man. What do you say we take a break? We'll come back and do a little bit of what we've been playing, a little bit of N64 a month, and then get out of here.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Be right back. Welcome back to the Free Cheese, episode 161. Dash, what have you been playing?
Yeah, that's a question. So you're gonna hate this.
Why?
Okay, number one, I was playing No Man's Sky. The reason that you're gonna hate that is because it's No Man's Sky, so it's a little bit of drama.
No, but here's the thing. Not that I don't trust Kyle's opinion.
Uh-huh.
But Kyle and I both went into it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even go into it. I just fingers in the air.
Looked at it.
Yeah. Kyle went into it with a negative, a strong curiosity, but him and I were both very like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You went into it differently.
Yes.
So I trust this. I want to hear this side of it.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna drag this out because it could go out there. I went into it with a sort of outlook of I have no idea what to expect from this game, other than it's got the world exploring elements that I just kind of crave every once in a while. You know, kind of like you have with Minecraft, where you're just like,
sure,
I'm just going to try to survive so I can see the edge of this world and just see where it goes. And so you have that kind of mentality, and so that's how I went into it. And then it kind of like went under the radar for a while. Everybody knew it was coming out at some point, and everybody was like, "Oh, I'm really excited about this game." And then the negativity started up. First with the delay, and then with everybody kind of going, "Oh, like there's something wrong here." And so I was just kind of like, I don't care. I'm not going to look into it. You know, I read what happened about the guy who bought that copy for like a lot of money. Yeah, it was like a whole thing where somebody bought a demo copy. Like they put it out on eBay and spent like an enormous amount of money on it. I can't even remember, but this guy bought that copy, then went out there and played it. And, you know, he beat the game in like 30 hours. And so that's why everybody was up in arms because...
Yeah.
Okay.
They were judging a not finished
copy. So immediately, me being a reasonable human being, I go, well, it's a not finished copy. Also, he was trying to beat it, which is not what I want to do with this game. Like, I don't want to try to beat Minecraft. I want to explore Minecraft. So, you know, that's kind of where my mindset was going. And so I kind of just like brushed it under the radar. Anyway, get down to it. I get the game. I power it up, and honestly, for the first, I'm going to say like 25 hours, been in heaven. Like it's been a lot of fun. And, you know, I understood everybody's gripe with it. The pointlessness of it all is absolutely there. The kind of idea of the inventory system, like you're constantly, again, like just trading numbers up, like your inventory is just getting bigger and bigger piece by piece. And then like you buy a new ship, you make enough money, you put enough gold in your inventory to buy a new ship, and you're like, all right, great. And then immediately there are ships that are better than yours. So it's kind of like the whole process starts over again. I didn't even mind that for like the first 25 hours.
Yeah.
And then I kind of hit this wall the other day where, again, I got that ship, I got the new ship, I landed on a planet. It had pink grass and like a green sky, and it was like the 90th planet that I'd see with a pink grass and a green sky. And I'm like, where is the rest of this game? Like, it finally hit me. It's like, I'm done. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I don't know what's going on. And so then I started going back and like reading some of the stuff that was out there. And I think what really kind of summed it up for me is that there was this compilation somebody made on YouTube of just like all of the missed opportunities, we'll say, that Sean Murray basically kind of like did not tell whole truths on. I don't want to say he lied. Right. I don't know what's coming later.
Yeah.
But as he was presenting the game, there was just like so much that I didn't realize that I had heard and that had infected my brain, and it was just not there, and it started to really hurt. So I don't know. I don't want to put the game down because, like I said, for the first 25 hours, and mind you, if you had any game for 25 hours and loved it, that's enjoyable. Yeah. That's great.
I mean, I feel like every game serves its purpose, and you know that has its own too. And maybe it's just not what the majority just doesn't care about. Yeah. But I mean, you know, for someone like you who put that much time into it, like, I mean, I don't see a problem there. But
now you've hit that point. What do you need to feel joy again?
I mean, so you know, there's aspects of that the promises that were made that if they just do just a teeny tiny bit of what they promised later on, then I'll be down for it. I think one of the screenshots that I always saw over and over was there's like a crash ship, and mind you, there are crash ships in the game, but I'm talking about there's a crash ship in like the side of a mountain, and it looked like it was big enough to explore. And this is just like going off of a screenshot, and there's like freighters going in atmosphere. Like there's like little things, if they can add the factions that are fighting between each other and clear factions, because there are factions in the game, but you have no idea like who to pick. Like every time it's set, like in the game you'll get a distress signal. You'll go to the distress signal, and you'll just see little teeny ships fighting a freighter, and it's like, well, in my head I'm like, well, why would they attack a freighter? So I'm just going to kill these ships, but I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, so I'm just attacking whatever. They're just like little things that if they just clarify those things or make it feel more like you're making choices that matter in the game, that could bring me back almost right away. But I don't know. They've been silent this whole time.
That's the weird. Have they tweeted or anything?
I don't think so. There were some tweets. So I remember.
But I feel like they're all very PC tweets or something. Like there's really like.
Yeah, like really PC.
They're only retweeting positive things. I don't know. I'm looking it up now.
Because the only thing that I will say, like you all were talking last time about whether or not you'd seen your own character, and you can't. Because and somebody on Reddit, there are two people on Reddit actually did end up on the same planet. They found the same planet, and they tried to look at each other, and you can't because it's apparently like a different server that they're on. There was like some connection thing, and one person's was during the daytime and one person was on the nighttime, and they were standing in the exact same place. So that it's like we don't even know if you actually can see each other. And the only thing that Sean Murray, I think, tweeted was, "Oh, it's crazy that two people managed to be on the same planet." Like there was no response to, "Hey, you can't see each other. This is not a multiplayer game." Yeah. It was just, "Oh, it's crazy. People actually ended up on the same planet."
I remember one interview where it came off as if he was dodging the question.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it's like this game isn't meant for that.
Right. Which is
that's
fine.
Not the point of it. But at the same time, it gave off that impression for a reason because a lot of people were thinking it. So
because he said it. They're like, can you grief other players in this game? Kind of. Well, how? How can you kind of grief anything in this game at this point? You can't.
So maybe when he said at the beginning of all of this, because remember he said the universe is so big that there's no way that you could even run into somebody else.
Well,
and maybe there's no way because the universe is in two different.
Maybe that's what they intended.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and this is the thing that kind of put the nail in the coffin for me, is that somebody else discovered because he had been playing the game for probably as long as I have. Like now, it's been 30 hours that I put in it, 30, maybe 35. But he's been playing it for such a long time that he couldn't find the original planets he had started off on. And again, this is another Redditor. And somehow he managed to find his way back to the galaxy he had gone to because it still had the name. But when he went to all the planets in that galaxy, it didn't remember any of the names of the animals and some of the places that he had discovered already. And apparently it's like a memory thing because the actual memory of trying to contain all of those names, it has to reset. So after 2 weeks, it kind of reset some of the progress he had made when he had tried to go through and rename some of these animals. And it's
that's messed up.
If that's true, that's it negates the point of the game.
Right. That's the whole.
The whole thing is so that if
exploring. If I do end up on Marc's dong, I want to be able to find.
It's a matter of when.
When you end up on Marc's dong, you must find the watering hole.
Yes. And I want to find the one that you talked to. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing is.
Yeah. Because it's cool to share stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, the hope is that, this is, a game that they continue to stick with, update. This stuff hopefully comes out in the future. Maybe they resolve some of these issues. Maybe it's just, who knows what Sony was pressing them to do.
It's never too late.
That's the key part of this that I'm not.
When you start to get those companies behind you like that, and they're a small indie developer basically, so that you're not, I don't know how used they are to dealing with that type of backing,
right?
And who knows what kind of pressure that they were under.
So I found Hello Games Twitter. Mm-hmm. It wasn't hard to find them, but I found them.
You could type in Hello Games.
At Hello Games. When did the game launch? 20th? Something like that? Of August?
August, that's right.
Somewhere around, or whatever day it was. But the 23rd of August, patch notes here for PC. So actually, 23rd, that would have been, because the PC version came out that Friday. Whatever.
It did. The console version, the 9th, then I think the PC version, the 11th or something.
Okay. I don't know. So then that was the 23rd for patch notes for PC. Mm-hmm. The 24th is a series of tweets about when a PS4 crashes, it sends a crash dump to the developers. Mm-hmm. It's been useful for them to bug fix, and they released patch 1.04 that fixes 75% of crash issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a pretty good number.
Then they said, this whole series of tweets says, patch 1.06 releases this week, as in whatever that week that was, fixes 90% of crash issues. And then we obviously won't stop until 100% resolution.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Then, that was the 24th of August. 27th of August, experimental branch on Steam has been updated.
What is that? What do you mean?
I don't know. And then, in reply to their own tweet, these changes and more are inbound for Steam, GOG, and PS4 in an incoming patch, smiley face. And that was the last tweet on August 27th, 2016. Now, if my math is correct, It is Sunday the 4th.
That is correct.
So that is.
Maybe they're working.
You're not worried. No. So that was a week and a day ago that they last tweeted.
Yeah, I feel like they should have said something.
Now, Sean Murray is... What's his Twitter name? It's fucking Sean Murray.
I mean, it's probably...
At Inside Sean Murray.
He's at No Man's Sky. Uh-huh. The last thing he tweeted was August 18th in reply to himself.
Okay.
Saying, we're totally focused on customer support right now. Then we'll move on to improving and adding features to the game.
Okay.
Thumbs up emoji. And he used the Simpsons color emoji.
That's fine. I mean, if that's the kind of promise he's going to make, I'm okay with that because I've stuck with games. Listen, I still play Destiny. I don't know if you guys know this about me.
I did not know this.
I'm a Destiny player.
I did know this, and I forgot about it.
Right.
Because I wanted to.
Stuck with it, and I feel like the payoff has been worth it for each time they've released the game and then made promises about improvements. I feel like that they've followed through with it. So I'm completely down if all I need is just a little bit of acknowledgement, and I feel like that's a little bit of what's been lacking in this. Like, I don't feel like that's a full acknowledgement of what's happened, because you take something like Destiny and they acknowledge the fact that the community is upset. Like, they have people in the subreddit.
Well, I mean, that's Bungie, right?
Right. I mean, it's Bungie. And it's also Activision now. So that's
yeah, that's true.
It's like they have someone who reads the subreddit, responds to people on the subreddit, and was like actively listening. And it's that type of attention that kept me interested in the game, because it's like you actually see these improvements being made. I mean, some of them took a long time, but when every single time somebody's like, there was a glitch about rocket ammo going away every time you died. So when they finally took care of that, it had been like years of us going, hey, thanks for the patch, but that's still a glitch and it sucks. And they'd be like, yeah, we know, it's real hard. So it's like, we're like, okay, it's hard.
If you tell us it's hard, that's fine.
And that's kind of what I need a little bit of from No Man's Sky.
Because it's humanizing. It's like, I'm with you if you let me be with you, but if you just shut up and just recoil, then I don't know. You know what I mean?
If you recoil back and then just shoot out these little, hey, these updates, there'll be more features in the game one day, and I'm like,
obviously 100% is our goal.
All the developers, when they were at Mojang, when they were working on Minecraft before they sold it, like each one had their own account, and they would all talk about, like, give you like insight on like everything that they're doing, and the process of it and why it's going the way it is. I thought that was cool. But like, I think one of the best feedbacks I've seen lately is Sonic. Sonic's Twitter.
Did they respond to No Man's Sky?
No, I didn't know. No, I mean, in general, like.
Oh, in general, yeah. That's
like whoever's running on Twitter, they're fully aware of what kind of image Sonic has.
Oh yeah.
Is it the fanfic image you're talking about here? Where
they fully. Have you seen the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account?
I've seen some tweets from it that have been. I don't know how to put it. Like,
here's one from one from 6 days ago. It just reads, "Haters will say it's fake."
Right.
And here's the picture.
Chili cheese dogs, baby.
It's Sonic, cartoon Sonic, riding on an actual hedgehog with chili cheese dogs and golden rings flying through the air while there's a rainbow in the background.
What other thing do you describe that with other than out of character? I don't know.
I mean, not to.
Yeah, they've like fully embraced the.
Secret is that's weird, actually me running that Twitter. Yeah.
The weird like meme culture behind this.
Yeah, like they're kind of aware that like Sonic's a joke in some way.
Yeah, but I'm worried.
At least with the way it was going.
I'm worried that they're a little overcompensating for that sometimes.
I will say the Twitter account is a really subtle balance.
Right.
They
managed to.
It's okay.
Kind of like Arby's.
Yes.
Okay.
The downside was that live thing, which I never fully talked about, but I watched that thing.
Live thing?
Have you seen?
I'm not sure.
It was the 25th anniversary of Sonic.
Yeah.
It was a Friday night, and what else are you going to do on a Friday night but watch the 25th anniversary show?
Oh, right. I remember you did watch this.
Katie was so upset.
I don't remember the details, though.
I don't blame her.
Because Katie just wanted to hang out. And like I think we went and like got food. I think we got pizza and came home. And I was like,
it was an event.
No, okay. So I remember it was. We had to like run around and like she wanted to run to IKEA and get some bullshit. I wanted to run to Target and get some other bullshit. So it was like, let's do this, grab a couple of these bullshits that we need, and then whatever. I didn't want to leave at all. I wanted to be here. I wanted to be playing Sonic and like prepping for this and like just counting down. She was like, no, can we run out? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Fine, we'll race. We get back. We're on the way back, and it's begun. And I'm like, oh no, I'm missing it. It's 9:00. I'm missing the show. And she's like, oh man, this sucks. We get back. I know I gotta go fast, but I did. I got fast. I went fast. I got back. I put it on, and nothing's happening. It's just like a sad stage. And I'm like, or no, before the stage, it was just like, hey, coming soon or whatever. So I go on Twitter and Wario64. If you need to know anything about video games, just follow Wario64. He's just tweeting like, wow, the only thing he's not fast enough for is his own anniversary. Late as fuck. Where are you? Whatever. Like, it was great. So I'm waiting, and then eventually like the lights come up, and you're like, what's? Oh, okay. And it's just two sad DJs.
Oh, it's the saddest thing I've seen.
It was bad. Like,
it
was really bad.
It was sadder than the video game.
But that's when he announced. That's bad.
Yeah.
But then it got to the point where
they showed Sonic Mania there, right?
Yeah. So that was the part that kind of drew the line for me, or crossed the line rather.
Which, by the way, they just released straight footage from the game, like 12 minutes
for Sonic Mania.
Yeah,
I'm very happy about that. I'm gonna go watch that.
It's pretty.
I'm really happy that you both have such faith that a Sonic game will be good.
Have you seen Sonic Mania?
I've not. I honestly, Sonic fell off my radar.
Okay, so you know how we were talking about earlier about how like we want to give Nintendo our data, like yes, like like they're listening. Sonic Mania is that equivalent.
Okay.
Like they are listening.
Okay, I'm going to investigate this.
I went back to the night, and Wario64 says something's finally happening on the Sonic stream, and you can see here it's just two guys from their DJ group called Hyper Potions, and it's just a sad guy in a Sonic mascot suit dancing with all the golden rings floating. And then
it's like hours of that.
It's so dim.
It was way too long of this.
Just
really, really, really long time.
They're like, we can't get this footage. What do we do?
Other people were mentioning that whoever's in that Sonic costume does not look like they can see very well because they can't move very well either.
They had to have a guy, like a handler, lead them off stage. And here's just
so dark.
Some reactions of mine in the moment. After all this, I forgot that there's a new game on the way. Hashtag Sonic 25th. How else would this have honestly gone down, though? Hashtag Sonic 25th. Life is just one long nightmare that we share. Hashtag Sonic 25th. And then I retweeted a guy who popped up in my feed that said, this is like staring directly into the sun. And then finally they came out and they announced the new game. But when they had the guy, I forget his name, Aaron something. He runs their social media account. And him on stage, that was what crossed the line. If you saw that live stream, when he started actually like doing the tweets live, like that kind of mentality, like they're like, you guys like the Twitter account that we run? Yeah. And it was like, oh, did you?
Is this before or after like the guitar?
This was before.
Shit. Okay.
And then that was when Katie and I turned it off.
Okay.
It had been an hour and a half at that point.
Wow.
Because he came out on stage and it was like, okay. And then he was like, hey, I'm the guy who runs the Twitter account. And we're like, oh, okay, we see how the milk is made. I don't want to fuck the cow anymore. Yeah. And then you... I don't know what that's an expression, right? People say that.
Listen, fucking cow.
They just need to take a note from Sony's E3.
Which one?
This year.
I don't remember Sony's E3.
Are you kidding me? It was like the best thing.
This year?
It was pretty, because Kojima, remember Kojima coming down?
The live symphony playing for the God of War stuff?
This year was good, but I feel like last year was way more like...
Well, yeah, but no, the thing about this one, that it was just game after game. There was no bullshit in between.
Okay, fair.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it just needs to be get right to it.
You're right. They had an attitude about it too. Like,
yeah, like you didn't have a guy come out between every game. It was
the president of Sony came out and was like, "You guys like game? Well, fuck you. Here's game." And like just ramming it right into your skull.
It was very just like yeah.
It was compared to the other ones. It was good.
I forgot about that. I just remember last year was the big it was the big revival year of just like You guys want Final Fantasy 7? All right, here it is. Check it
out. That's true.
That Last
and then they're
Guardian.
like, what's another thing you guys wanted? Was that Last Guardian you wanted? Oh, take a look at this.
I'm pretty sure I threw up.
And then they were like,
I saw the remake of Final Fantasy 7. I threw up. I looked at my girlfriend. And I said, "This is it." Like, she's done.
Wasn't it Adam Boyes who came out then and was just like, God, I feel like there's a game you guys have really wanted from Sega for a long time. Oh, is that Shenmue?
Shenmue. just rainbows shooting out our eyes.
Done.
But before he says Shenmue, it's like Phantasy Star 2 is coming to America finally.
Star Online. Oh, okay.
That's a taste of the Sonic Twitter.
Oh God!
And it's good. Like that's gold.
Right.
But when they start doing that in person, that's where it's like,
yeah. It's like when you're like over acknowledging it and like trying to run off of that joke.
Can't do it.
It looked like a sad kid's birthday party. Like, it was just a weird experience.
It was, when they brought out the guy playing guitar.
That was my 12th birthday at Skateland. I didn't want to skate with that panda. I had
no one did.
This in Skateland, that was a dirty place, man. They do you wrong.
It was actually Dave had to go out for me, pretending it was me for my birthday.
Pretty good.
You had another kid pose as a double for you.
That's pretty good.
He volunteered it because I sat behind the wall and I'm like, stubborn. I was like, I'm not going. And like the announcer's like waiting for someone to come out. So he just went out.
Oh my God!
So all these kids rode with the panda.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, Sandy.
So No Man's Sky, you're kind of not.
So this whole thing, right? Yeah, I have to put that in the back burner. I've done the same thing with other games before that I knew would be, promising maybe at some point.
Yeah.
I did that with Minecraft. Like I played Minecraft for like 30 hours.
Yeah.
Got bored of it and it was like waited for the new update. I would wait for like 5 new updates so that by the time I came back it was a whole new game.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter. It was like 5 million mods.
Yeah, I went. Yeah, that's true. But I went back. Like I played Minecraft until there was like, just the basic Minecraft. And then by the time I came back, all of a sudden you could be hungry. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm like, I've got stamina. Yeah. I'm hungry. What the fuck? All right, I'll play it.
Everything's different.
Yeah, so
I stopped once they added horses.
That's the perfect time to begin.
I mean, like I don't know what they did after that, so I just stopped. I actually tried beating the game, and I did.
Yeah, you can beat that game.
And that's what happened. You killed it. It just
That's all I wanted. Just
just like the princess.
Yep, that dungeon, go in the portal, fight the dragon.
Yep,
it's cool though. I love the end of that game.
Mm-hmm. Never played it.
You just get this place. I think it's called
the Ender.
Yeah, just the Ender. Mm-hmm. And you just fight the Ender dragon. It's all like it's just empty. It's like you're on a moon. Everything's just black and yeah.
Well, that's also how I feel about No Man's Sky.
That's
one day it's just empty, and then you're on a moon. And then don't get me wrong, there's some beautiful views from the moon, but it's empty. It's really
you start going like a wormhole, and then you see yourself like super aged, and then all of a sudden there's a giant baby out in space. And
are we talking about that new Kojima game? Because
that's I feel like that's what we were just talking about.
Well, no, this is more Stanley Kubrick.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. We're going to
what's the difference? One's Japanese, one's dead.
They have the same ideas sometimes, apparently. Yeah.
Has anyone confirmed that No Man's Sky is actually connected to some sort of server?
No, but
because here's another cool conspiracy theory on my end. If we're going there, is that it's just a standalone like.
The only time I ever paid attention to it when I first downloaded the game and started playing it, I went to save and I noticed because there's a button that literally is like red or green or something.
Yeah.
And if it's red, it'll just say not connected, and it still saves all your content. So I was like, oh, okay. But it doesn't. I never saw that button turn green, and I haven't checked it recently. But I wonder. At first, I was like, oh, okay, it's a brand new game. Of course, it's not connected because nothing ever works day one. But I wonder how often that button actually is indicating that you're connected to something. Because here's the other strange thing. One menu does... So if you hit the inventory button, it doesn't pause the game.
Okay.
But there is a pause button on the game. You can actually pause the game by bringing up the system menu. So it's like, what is it doing? Is it creating another instance temporarily when you pause the game? And it's weird. I don't know. Again, I don't know how the game is even made, but it's I don't know how it's doing things.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Because what would that look like if, in theory, you
were with someone, right? Would it like take you out of would you zap away for a second? I don't know. Yeah. So I'm aware he's probably a wizard.
So the next update if there's ever an update that removes the pause button, then we know that this whole first half was a sham. This was beta.
They're just going to add couch co-op.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. That's really true.
And that's fine if it's a beta. Just say it's a goddamn beta.
Pretty much.
Has No Man's Sky been dominating your week?
Honestly, that was like the only thing. Other than that, I tried to start. Again, another shame. I tried to start a Final Fantasy 14 character. I'm not going to say anything about it other than I can't stand MMOs.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I love the idea of MMOs for some reason. But then when I go to play them, like I start to discover things, and it's like, all right, I feel like some parts don't need to be as complex as they really are. Yeah. But seriously, like Phantasy Star Online 2, like that's been my favorite.
Good one.
But I mean, they made it easier to patch now for the English server.
Yeah.
To where you don't have to keep manually putting in the files.
Right.
But it's still like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I did.
It's weird because it's like I don't care about people I don't know really.
Yeah.
So I don't play with them.
But that's the point, man.
That's the point of an MMO. But like I don't.
Yeah, I'm an antisocial player. Like I don't.
But like even the ones. But the other Phantasy Stars, like I had for GameCube, the Dreamcast ports or whatever. Like I had an online feature, but that wasn't my favorite part about the game.
Yeah.
I just loved just playing that game.
I think it's kind of wild,
even though it's so monotonous and it's so like you can get tired of it really quick. But for some reason, I didn't care.
Yeah, no.
Get the same 3 combo.
I think it's more like I did DC Universe for a little while. Like
I did a little too.
Because I wanted to be a superhero, and
so
like
you make your character. You kind of have like this background in your head, the story you kind of made
up,
and that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
But then like the actual game sucks.
Everyone's a speedster. You know what? That was fucked up. Here's the thing. I played first of all, that was like the only game. It was like one of the free games that was on the PS4 when it was first launched.
Yeah,
that's why I started. And I made a character, and I immediately was like, "Well, no one's gonna pick speed. Everyone's gonna fly." Like I just thought I was like, "No, I'm gonna be fast." And then literally, I hit the ground, and there's just people flying past me, and I'm like, "Fuck!" I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm a speedster.
I did. I made my guy look as close to Nightwing as I could, and then he had super speed. Only because I didn't want to pay the whatever to get the Green Lantern DLC.
Is that how you got it? Because that's what I wanted at first. Like, I want to be a Green Lantern.
But I really wanted, and that was the thing. Like, I was like, yes, I can be a Green Lantern. Like, I can do all this shit. Like, or I can be a Yellow Lantern. I could join Sinestro. Like, let's do this. But really, actually moving in that game is butts. It doesn't feel good.
Wait, what?
Combat's you're doing it, and you're seeing.
I wanted that game to make up for my loss of not playing City of Heroes.
Ooh.
And it probably would, but it's the I hate MMO thing. Yeah. It's just MMOs are a difficult thing to get into. There's all the weird little you need a keypad or a keyboard with you, and I don't have that.
It's also hard to care. I found myself literally not caring what's happening. I spent so much time in the character creator, and my girlfriend hates this because I'll literally sit for hours in character creator, and I'll show her, do you like this haircut?
It's actually my favorite part. I spent forever in character creators.
And literally, I drop into the game, and my character, it's like, I immediately put on armor and cover all the shit up, and then I don't even look at anybody else's character. I'm sitting there thinking, people are going to look at my character, and I don't even look at other people's characters. That's the first thing. So why would they look at mine? It doesn't matter. So I'm zooming through town, and then there's just dialogue bubbles popping up. In Final Fantasy, it's just, that's all there is. With Destiny, which is kind of an MMO, you have people talking to you, so at least I have to pay attention.
Right.
It's there's audio telling me what's going on. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I'm shooting this shit for 10 hours. But with Final Fantasy, I'm completing quests. I've probably done 30 fetch quests. I've not read a single line of text because at some point I'm just slamming on the button to level up. I'm just
I really think that MMOs are still in a phase that they never got out of, and they should have maybe over 2 decades ago. Where there's, and I've noticed a lot that are potentially in the works or whatever, that they are finally breaking those molds that we are so tired of. Or it's because you can't make everybody feel special if they all have the same exact quest. You get the same exact one-of-a-kind item.
Right.
All that stuff. And I've seen games where it's like, they're a little more realistic now. And like there's just one, I think I'm not sure if it's on Kickstarter. It's some kind of game that's in the works where it's like, every player actually has a job in a town. Like they're not NPCs.
Okay.
And so like if you're someone who's a blacksmith, you actually have to go get the materials, you make the armor, you sell it for money.
Damn.
You run that shop.
Right.
That's kind of dope.
And it's the only way people
that takes
can get
over
that
some
stuff
shit. Like that's your life.
Yeah.
Or you can be a cartographer. You make maps.
Oh, people will die doing that. Playing that game, they'll die.
This is some EVE Online shit.
Right. That is some.
But like I'm saying, like we're finally now. Like
that's cool.
We're thinking outside the box finally. I think we're getting there.
Well, it's funny that the concept of that.
It took so long.
There was a game, actually that was supposed to be like that a long time ago. It was called True Fantasy Live. That
sounds familiar.
I think it was a Xbox game, but they canceled it. At some point, it got canceled. But it was literally supposed to be like, you make your character and you choose a job and a class, and you do that. So you're going to be a blacksmith. It was just what you were saying, and it was like really cutesy. It was super anime chibi. But back then I was like 17 or something. I was like, yeah, anime. So it was just like, it wasn't as cool as what you're saying so far. But like I feel like that concept, that's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
It's like we need to run this town. Like, you know, it's better than having this preset world where, like, the blacksmith that you have to go through to do a mission is just sitting there arbitrarily.
Yeah, I'm going to sell you all my leather pelts.
Right.
You don't need these.
Bring me 5 rabbit skins. And then you're just like, no.
Dude, I'm a blacksmith. Like, I got kids to feed. That's the other thing. Like, your character, he can actually die.
Mm-hmm. That's the cool part. Yeah.
And then you can take the genetics from that and make a new character.
I enjoy this.
I would love that.
So, it's a game that grows.
Yeah. I'm just impressed that you actually got into Final Fantasy 14 because I tried.
I
was like, I'm going to do it.
I was curious to try it.
It took me 16 days to download the actual game. And when I was like, all right, let's do this. Then it took me like 25 minutes to set up a Square Enix account. And by set up a Square Enix account, I mean enter my email and a password. But that took that long. And then let's download all the data from the server. And that's when I ripped the plug out of the wall and I threw my PS4 out over the balcony at the apartment. And it was in the street. Yeah.
Once you download the data from the server, there's another like hour wait.
I can't.
It was infinite.
Yeah.
I sat down, like I remember because I sat down and my girlfriend was about to go to bed, so I'm like, fine. Like I saw Final Fantasy downloading. It was like just about to go. I'm like, cool. Like I'm gonna stay up, play video games, sleep in bed. I'll put a movie on, whatever. I put the movie on. The movie finished.
And it was still going.
And it was still going. Like fuck it. I'm still awake. It's 2 a.m. I don't give a shit. Game finally installs. That was just the freaking front loader. And I'm like my brain is like, okay, well, it can't be that much longer because there's no way that it didn't download like 15 gigabytes of a loader. Nope.
I don't get it. I did the same. It was back when I was delivering pizzas. So I got home at like 1:30. Yeah. We were at the apartment. And it was not too long after PS4. Did I do it? I didn't do it on PS3. So it was after PS4 came out. And I was like, let's do. Oh, okay. I got to wait. All right, fine. Let me go do something else. I think I played 3DS for a little while, and then I got to the point where it installed, and it got to the boot up screen, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's go, let's do this, let's play, let's make a character. Oh, okay, it's got to download. All right, and I'm like, oh, that's 2%. That was 2%. Like I think I went out and I was still smoking, so I went outside and had a cigarette, came back, I was like, 2%. Okay, great, let's do this. So I did the same thing. All right, let's swap over, let's watch a movie or something. The whole thing went by, and it was like 39, and I'm like, fuck you forever.
Done.
Yeah. I just want to be a dragoon.
Yeah, that's actually what
it's the spears.
They're called Lancers.
Jump.
In 14 for some reason.
Oh, are they?
That's.
That would technically make more sense.
It would,
but dragoon sounds cooler because you have the dragon armor. And...
You're from the old school, like I am, where Final Fantasy 2/4 was the language you speak with Final Fantasy.
Kane's my favorite character.
Kane is a dragon.
I know that for a fact.
Oh,
yeah. Or Sid in 7.
Yeah.
Freya in 9. How do you say his name? Kumari in 10.
Oh yeah.
See, 9 fucked me up because I renamed those characters, so I only remember them all. I don't even remember.
You were one of those kids?
No, I wasn't.
No, okay.
I never was.
I did it,
but I thought
sometimes.
I did it. I did it just because I was bored, and I was like, "This will be funny if I do this." But no, I always default whatever.
I do that now.
The only thing I changed it, and actually because I just started up a new game, Earthbound.
Okay, yeah.
But I only changed the name of the dog. But now I was at a predicament when I did that last week, because now this is the first time I've played Earthbound since I have Earl.
Oh, now I have 2 dogs.
I can't.
2 different saves.
I don't have that kind of time.
No, just keep switching
Just
back
keep
and forth.
back and
Or
forth.
two.
No, the one for your 3DS and the one for your Wii U. 2 different.
Say, 2 DSs and just.
I could do that too.
Yeah, you're ski jobbing it right there.
Or just name it Harold.
Oh, god damn it. You and this Harold motherfucker. I'll pull up some pictures to educate Dash while you tell me what you've been playing recently.
I was like, Harold's like, what's Harold? Okay, so let me try to think of order that I did this. Rock Band 4.
Really?
Yeah, I love Rock Band.
Uh-huh.
My brother got the deal with the Mad Cats stuff because they're not with them anymore.
Yeah.
So he got it really cheap for maybe $100 or something. Okay. So we were setting that up, and when my PS4 at my house, set up the instruments and everything because he got the cymbals for his drum set and all that. And it took forever to update that game because there's been so many updates since that game launched because that game was not good when it first came out. Even the menu was bad. Yeah, that's a form of currency for me now.
Harold.
Right. This is how Marc tells me I'm doing a good job.
I sent him a
pictures of this guy.
Yeah, so that took forever to update that game, let alone install it.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine, well, at least now when I get the Rock Band Rivals thing, I'm just good to go.
Oh, yeah.
I do have to say, out of playing all of them, Rock Band 2 is still the best.
Even, song-wise, or are you talking about
not only song-wise, but character creation-wise.
Oh wait, so
does 4 even have characters?
It does, but you have to you can just make a character without making a band.
Okay.
But if you want to do the tour, then you have to make a full band, and then if you want to get more stuff, you have to earn the money to buy the stuff. Gotcha. So you don't have every hairstyle, which is fine.
Okay.
But usually you start off with a good amount. Mm-hmm. You have to you have to buy a lot more than usual.
Gotcha.
Pants are now with shoes. So
these developmental choices,
No, I mean I get it. They're an independent company now. They had to start from the ground up.
Yeah.
They have to redo a lot of things.
All right,
right. So it's all right, fine. But I feel that one right there, the pants and shoes thing, is it that hard to separate them?
I mean, that's brand new assets. That's 2 different sets of assets instead of 1 set of assets.
Well, is it?
But you have the option to change both colors at different separately.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So you can make them look different. It's not like there's a color scheme. It's not like
I mean, they're good with the colors. Where it's if you have a hat, it's a trucker hat. It's what do you want the front part to be? What do you want the side part to be? What do you want your hair color to be? Right. It has all that with that one thing.
Okay.
Well, then that means that the way they're building those 3D assets are in chunks, and then they're letting you change each chunk.
Yeah,
but they're building that asset once and strapping it on.
But the faces, you can't customize the faces anymore. They're just default faces. And just pick whatever's closest to you.
Okay.
Just coming from someone who loves character creations.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing, but I mean, at least I can get a matching hairstyle now.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
It's not your face, but
he looks really girly, so it's spot on. So hopefully there's more stuff with the Rivals. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. From there, I actually downloaded for the Super Nintendo Virtual Console for my 3DS.
Yes.
Mystical Ninja.
Oh, you would.
Wow.
I never played that one. I've only played the 64 one.
64.
So I wanted to. I mean,
I didn't know they put that out on Virtual Console.
Yeah. I mean,
they literally unleashed a torrent of games on Virtual Console.
Yeah.
That's pretty good though. But Goemon's that's not you know what I mean? It makes sense. Well, I've seen a lot of the
Goemon's way bigger in Japan than here.
It is, but I feel like Mystical Ninja was probably one of the more popular ones here, though.
Yeah, I mean, at least because there was ones for Nintendo or Famicom, but we never got that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And there was 2 or 3 games, so it just went straight to this one. But in the game, his name is Kid Ying.
Okay.
And his friend, it's Emeretsu or something like that. The fat ninja guy. Mm-hmm. His name is Dr. Yang. So it's Kid Ying, Dr. Yang.
That makes sense to me.
Because this is just called Mystical Ninja. It's not called Mystical Ninja Star and Goemon.
Right.
Because that's the 64 one.
Yeah.
But it's weird playing that game on a 3DS just because of the screen size. I feel like that's a game I want to play on a TV.
Really?
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm okay with it. As soon as you start the game, though, it's you have enemies coming at you because they don't stop spawning.
Oh, yeah.
So you're timed between levels. So you have to, get whatever power-ups you need.
Okay, yeah, so this is an arcade style?
A little bit. Think like River City Ransom.
Okay.
But more active.
Greatest game ever made, by the way. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're constantly running around, beating people up, getting coins, upgrading your pipe until eventually turns into a yo-yo whip type thing.
Absolutely.
I think I'm there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. Like you can jump and all that. So like the towns are like a top-down kind of thing. And you have 4 directions. You go in little shops and all that. Once you leave the village, it turns into a side scroller.
Okay, this is Ninja Turtles NES.
Yeah, like Contra. Yeah, like the way it's all set up with like the different platforms you can go up and down, little boss fights, and you just keep going.
Shit.
So it's good. It's just it's tough. It just drops you in.
I feel like I definitely want that on TV, like on a console. Yeah. Though. That's.
So I feel like if like Konami made a Zelda game back then, like Link to the Past, I feel like they would have went that route.
Oh man,
you're just trying to break my heart again.
Yeah, my head just
destroyed.
I felt like a wave of heat.
Don't worry, my heart's already there too.
I don't know if they put that out on Wii U Virtual Console. That's what surprised me most.
I don't see why not if it's Super Nintendo.
Just because they're fucking weird. They just they put some shit out on some like I don't think I've seen like Contra 3 was like one of the first Super Nintendo games they put out on 3DS or new 3DS Virtual Console, but they have not put that out on Wii U, or at least maybe.
Because I was trying to see if they had the 64 one out, but they don't.
Yeah.
So whatever. From there, I actually tried a bit of Paragon.
Oh, interesting.
It's a third person MOBA game on PS4.
It came out like the same time as like Battleborn Overwatch. It was like this weird cycle.
My friend, I've always seen my friends play it, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. It's free. I mean, you can pay to get more stuff, like more characters and all that. But
is this 2016's Warframe?
Nothing beats Warframe.
Actually, they have that too. When I was watching them play that, it looks like it came a long way, to be honest, for Warframe. But for Paragon, it's okay. Nothing. I mean, it's like any other MOBA. Like you can think League and just turn it into like better graphics and third person view instead of over top.
Okay.
And it's like you walk around with a character. You can pick different commands, actions. You upgrade with.
What style? Like, are you?
It's like a weird like sci-fi fantasy.
So is it lasers and what's your weapon? Are you swords?
I mean, like you have a knight, you have a military guy.
Okay.
You have a big like fish monster beast that I played as.
Okay.
His name is Rampage. He can pick up a boulder and throw it at people. It's fine.
So, because Paragon is one of the games like.
I don't think it knows what it is.
Yeah, and I feel like that caused it to suffer some. It also came out, like I said, in that cycle of those 3 other games with similar.
Yeah, there's a style of the whole game. It's not my favorite,
right?
Like aesthetically. I mean, that's why I picked that creature, because I didn't want to be like a generic human with a weapon. Like, I just wanted to be a monster and just destroy something. Like, so he looked the most H.P. Lovecraftian looking. So why not? I mean, I just played a bit of that today, honestly. I had it downloaded forever on my PS4. I just finally tried it. It's okay. Probably, if it wasn't for my friends, I wouldn't care. And then...
But see, that's where last week my comment about you playing that goddamn tank game is totally valid.
But see, that's a game I'd probably play by myself.
Yeah,
I mean, I would tell everyone, like, hey, like...
That's my point. That would be the one where you go, what is this weird thing? And then you'd play it and you come back and you guys gotta play this weird thing.
You gotta fucking play this game.
Yeah.
Just threaten you. Like I was claimed. But then kind of the reverse, if we're on that topic, what you did to me, phrasing. Badge Arcade.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm real sorry.
Are you?
Do you know about Nintendo Badge Arcade?
I have no clue what this is.
So you can decorate your 3DS, the theme of it, with these little icons you can just slap all over it and make it look customized to you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they do it in a game form.
Right.
With a little rabbit boy, and you go to a claw machine to get
It's really simple, but I can see how it's addictive, and it uses real money.
They make it gambling. It's just gambling.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's bad gambling, too.
Well, it's worse gambling.
Because it's a digital claw machine.
And the reward is completely useless. But you love it.
And it was like every week or every couple weeks or something, they change the type of badges you can get. And this time, it was Zelda themed, so okay, I'm in.
I've been subtly mentioning this to you for quite a while.
Yeah, like he wouldn't tell me what it was. It was being like very like cryptic about it. I was like, What's in here?
What this theme was?
Yeah, and I saw like Wind Waker and then whatever, and just keep scrolling. And then I saw the original NES Zelda.
But even the Wind Waker ones like look cool, and then
I just wouldn't use them though.
Yeah. But you like the NES, the 8-bit old boys. Yeah, okay.
That's when I saw that, I was like, all right, well, here goes my money. So instead of doing the tedious, hey, let's keep just adding funds that's needed, I just, you know what, just take $10.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's the pit.
That's nothing. You heard my Miitomo story before. I spent over 20 on that.
I can't believe you spent...
Yeah.
that one...
That's actually unbelievable.
The drop games, getting that exclusive. I needed that pizza shirt.
Bruh.
I get it,
it's
but
a good shirt.
I also.
No, I hate myself entirely.
Here's the
Are you
thing.
kidding me? I like how if anybody feels disgusted, I am with you.
It's
that is money I'm never seeing
Disgusted
again.
with myself.
because you could have bought like Box Boy 4 times.
Yeah, but they don't have a cool pizza shirt.
I know. I've had Badge Arcade since it launched, which is probably about a year ago, and I think I've spent $1 on it. Just
but it's also because like I just
used
got
it
paid, so I was like, oh, I can burn this. This is a little nothing.
Fair, but
I mean, like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so, mind you, I got my money's worth. I completed that entire NES Zelda.
Did you put them all over your home screen?
No, I only took the ones that I really wanted. I kept, because I already had the 3DS theme of the NES Zelda, but I covered up that Link that shoots the sword when you scroll across because he's too big compared to the other icons that I have. So I covered him up with the main game, and I have 2 folders. I put the little Triforce badge on the one folder for all because I have my Zelda games separate in one little folder. So I have every Zelda game that I could buy from Virtual Console or just from the eShop.
Yeah,
right in there. And then underneath, I just have I guess the Mi Plaza icon.
Sure.
But it's a red Link holding up a little leaf. And then I have the eShop badge of Zelda with a red dress holding up a bag.
You got all of them.
And then I have a little heart right between them. So they're matching outfits.
So where do you put these achievements that you've...
I
put them in a dark place.
Okay. That's it.
Bottle it up.
Wanted to bring it back. All right, we're going in the dark.
Come to my green screen. That one, no. It's that one's a good, like, I check in with it, but I couldn't spend money on it.
But don't worry, that's probably the most I'm ever going to spend.
Good. No, I go, like, because you can go all the way to the left and do a practice run, and if you do really, really well in the practice run, you get a free play.
I got all the Mario stuff from that. But, like, because, like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have done anything.
Really, the only reason I recommended it to you is because, one, it's free and you can get a couple dumb things to decorate your thing with.
Yeah,
and
like,
two, that rabbit is you in a tiny little animated boy form.
No, it's funny because like the rabbit. It's funny that it's pink because in Link to the Past,
it's
when you get to the Dark World, you're a pink rabbit.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's that, and then it's also like everything he says. I feel like you've texted me at some point. Like if I texted you about whatever, like that thing's responses are your responses to.
That's Nintendo when they're reading your text messages.
See
what's happening.
Yep.
You're sending them
see, now I'm just curious. Like, how do you see me? What am I to you?
You're a pink rabbit.
No, like
I don't know if this is good.
You're not fully that pink rabbit. He's just a part of you. That's the part of like
Donnie Darko.
Yeah, like that.
That's
he's
my
the
friend.
part of you he's your wit. He's your because you use a lot of puns.
That's my persona.
Yeah.
Oh, you went deep with it.
Oh man.
Rad.
Went deep in that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. See.
I'm sorry. It's there. And
I know
gotta
it's
go
there,
for it.
but that's my point.
That's your fault, though.
I know. I played Super Mario. I played Super Mario 3D World. More of that.
I've been wanting to Wii U one.
Wii U one, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought you were speaking land because you got that.
When are they going to correct? Stop with these names. They got. All right.
I understand the mentality behind it. Super Mario 3D Land was the 3DS one because
all the lands were handheld.
Super Mario Land was the one on handheld. Yeah.
Right.
And then
Land
this one was the one that came out on 3D
Uh-huh.
or on 3DS. So Super Mario 3D Land, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the World was because World is the one that's on the home console, and they made land on the home, and then now it's the.
But what about new Super Mario Brothers? Okay, we're not.
I can't answer that.
That doesn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Son of a bitch. I really want that franchise to be dead. It was so cool.
That's probably why they made Super Mario Maker. It's like, this is it.
Yeah. But in 2006, when that came out, DS, it was like, yep, you guys, this is perfect. You nailed it. Like, this is exactly what we needed. We've not had a good 2D Mario in 15 years. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
And they said, and then they went, oh, you like that one? Cool. Here's another one in 2009. Did you like that one? Okay, a little much, maybe, but here's another one in 2012. Oh, you wanted more from a Wii U launch title? Well, here's New Super Luigi Brothers. And then let's give you another one on 3DS.
You're right.
It was just too much.
Way too much.
But Super Mario 3D World with the cat suits.
Yes.
Katie and I have slowly been making our way through it.
That was a good one. I played that with my girlfriend.
It's fun.
Yeah. It gets challenging.
Yeah, we're in World 5 now. So last night.
So your cooperation's just pretty good?
Yeah, because we don't always remember to play it. It's like, oh yeah, we have that game.
But I mean, like you have a better understanding of each other's like play styles and like little things that like.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mostly.
Because like some levels where it's like it's hard to navigate through a level, and then, like because maybe somebody's like all the way on one side, somebody's all the way on another. It's like you need to come over here.
It's easier as a pair rather than like last night. We played with Tyler, and with Tyler it was not difficult, but it was like there's 3 of us, so we're all kind of going different ways. Tyler's also never played this before. He's jumping in the middle of World 5, whereas her and I have had this gradual build to this.
Right.
So it's kind of...
So Tyler's a jerk is what you're saying.
Basically.
I agree.
But yeah, Tyler and I hung out yesterday for a while, and I tried to get my Raspberry Pi up and running again. I'm done. I got it to work.
What's wrong with it?
It works, but like this goddamn Super Famicom controller that I got for it to pair via Bluetooth will not pair with the goddamn thing. And when I finally get it to work, then it puts the PS3 controller that I have paired with it as player 4, so you can't actually use that, even though there's nothing else connect. I don't know what's happening. I just want to burn it all to the ground. That's what I think. I just scream and set it on fire. That's what I'm going to do. That's how I solve my problems.
We'll videotape you just screaming at it.
And then maybe it'll work.
Put that pie in the oven.
Yeah.
You see why I say these things.
Big rabbit syndrome.
So before I broke that thing into 16 pieces, I was like, I brought Mario Party up thinking that would be a good idea. And they went, are you fucking kidding? I was like, okay, well, sorry, I tried. But how about this other one? And then we played Super Mario 3D World for a bit. It's just fun. Like that's another one we talked about it before, where it's like it's neat, it's subtle.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's we could do it. It's like an hour, no more than an hour.
Yep.
And then Katie's ready to just like, nope, done.
But if you're Luigi, you automatically get the flag every time.
Yeah, or if you're Toad, which she is, and she's punching you, saying, "I get it first."
Okay.
That kind of thing happens too. But I played that. I played a lot on my new 3DS because now I have that thing, and I love it very, very, very much.
A game.
What game did you see me playing?
Mario Kart.
Yeah, I'm playing a lot of Mario Kart.
I was actually half.
Yeah, it's been,
I was half tempted to buy Mario Kart, and I was going to text you like, "Hey, you want to race?"
Oh, dude, you should. It's. Wait, did you ever? You never bought it with our birthday discount thing?
No.
Dang.
I'm sure. I mean, is it on sale? Like, did the price ever go down on it?
I don't know.
I can get it used somewhere.
I don't know. But well, Oswald, let's come down and tell us when it's time to wrap up.
Listen, sorry, Oswald.
The Mario Kart 7. And it's like that thing. Like I never thought I'd go back to it because I have 8. But now that I have the new 3DS, and like, it's good. I've been laying in bed and just like last night I didn't go to bed till like 2:30, which is I had to work early this morning. Yeah. So I can't be up till 2:30, but I was because I had to be.
Mm-hmm. Did you mess with the 3D aspect of it?
Dude, I am exclusively playing in 3D, which I never thought I would say about 3DS.
Because it actually follows you now.
Yeah. It's so good on the new 3DS. Like and it actually looks good, like, because now that I'm on the smaller one instead of the XL, and I don't know how it is in the new 3DS XL, I'm sure it's fine, but on the my old XL versus this, like, the character actually looks like a character instead of a weird blob thing.
You don't have to hold it a certain way. I mean, you kind of do, but it's not that bad. Cause like
I'm in the dark, and I'm just
because like my 3D, I don't have it all the way like up. It's like close. It's like maybe like 80% up, or sometimes or sometimes it's only 10%. Like that works too.
Really? I turn mine all the way up, full blast.
Yeah.
Like it depends on the game too.
Caution to the wind.
Yeah.
Fuck my eyes. Just fuck them.
Yeah,
but like a Link Between Worlds is amazing in just pure 3D.
And that's the thing. Like now that I feel like I have the 3DS for the first time again, so I want to like go back and revisit all these things.
That's true.
Just don't do Pokemon X or Y with 3D.
Dude, you can't because who cares? But I really like. I don't know if we just burned ourselves out on Pokemon because that's all we did for like a month and a half. But
oh yeah, I mean, I've always been more Digimon anyway. But.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's a weird blasphemy.
That's a
weird blasphemy.
It's a weird Blastoise. It's called something else because it's not a Pokemon. It's a Digimon.
I mean, I grew up with both of them, but I don't
know. And then Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah.
Just slowly crawling through that.
Wonderful.
Because I think you both told me about it, right?
I definitely did.
Yeah, you were like, you need to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just like, I'm not like, it's good. It's like, I don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yep.
But it's also not fun. It's just, it's sort of like Flower.
How do you mean?
So, Flower, for the uninitiated, you play Flower and you are the wind and you're controlling flower petals. Mm-hmm. But Flower you can just kind of pick up and just glide through.
Right.
And you're just going through the meadow and you find things. But there's an objective to get from beginning to end of each stage. And
but like you don't feel lost. You just get it.
And it doesn't matter if you get lost. It doesn't matter if you go over there because you're finding flower petals along the way. And that's how Hyper Light Drifter is. It's all pretty. It's all beautiful. The music is just, entrancing and not in like the cool, like trance kind of way.
Yeah. Ambiance.
What are you doing, buddy?
Those are some eyes. That's a pupper right there.
It's a little Buscemi right there. Mm-hmm. But it just, you feel good while you play it. And you're not like stressed. You're not like...
Yeah.
It's good.
Even though your character's sick, it's like you feel good.
Yeah. Well, there's that part that I'm waiting to see how that plays out. But
yeah. There's no dialogue in that game, which is I remember you saying last time how it's universal. Like, and that's how I was thinking of it. Like, you just don't need. Like, I can imagine like having to localize that game in another country. It's like I'm done. Like, it's just great because it's just. But it's. That game is something else. Like it immediately gripped me, pulled me in, and I can see what you're saying about it not being like fun in some places because there are definitely some moments where I'm just like I gotta go through that spot again, huh? Like there's just like little backtrack scenarios, but it's kind of the same thing with like a Metroid, right? Where you'd be like, I gotta go through that room with the fucking lava or acid. And I don't feel like space jumping. Like there's definitely some of those kind of feelings in there.
Yeah. But it's peaceful. It's nice.
Yeah.
Oswald, Scream. And I can't I think I texted you the fan game stuff.
Yeah, I meant to reply back to that.
I'm pretty sure next paycheck is just gonna be just fangamer.com. They're gonna get all of the money.
We're just gonna have matching outfits.
I think so. Did you buy shit? From the
Not yet.
Oh yeah, but it's
the hoodie's a possibility.
The hoodie's real nice. Although the zipper is weird. Like it's the little diamond shape that they have in that is the zipper, which but also it's cool, but I don't know if I really want practically that doesn't make sense. It's a zipper to me. I don't have time for that shit. But that Hyper Light Drifter is I don't know what about it. It's just I think that might be my Shovel Knight this year.
Oh really?
Okay. It's
I like this.
Yeah, it's really taking dug its roots in me.
Yeah.
Pun intended. That was for you. See, Shovel Knight and the digging and the.
Go.
That's what I do.
The real fun of that game is when you beat it, going, all right, now what did I just play? Going back and trying to read all of the theories about what that game is actually about. It's I found that to be fun too.
The beginning of that game, I love. That I can keep watching that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think you had mentioned to me about the dude just had open heart surgery or something, right?
It was like, I think this past fall, I
yeah,
believe.
and like
because the company's called Heart Machine.
Right. So then I'm thinking about
he had to get a heart valve like replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And so like this is like his passion project. So like so like with any he's constantly updating this game. So like any feedback he gets, like he reads and listens to everything.
You're getting back to that theme of listening to the feedback.
Right. But that makes me think of like with his personal story, like, okay, so what is this, like an analog for his own life, or you know what I mean, like that?
I feel like it might be in some way.
I mean, you could definitely see the theme of like the sickness and that kind of like perpetual sickness while you're just trying to like do something. But I mean, the whole atmosphere of that game, just like seeing your character for the first time, and like you don't just understanding like, all right, this motherfucker is obviously skilled, like a skilled swordsman who's just like, and he's just like, I don't know, all the whole cloak aspect. I mean, it's a well-designed game. Like, it gives you a feeling, definitely. And all the movement, all the animations, like, just perpetually make you feel cooler and cooler when you play that game.
It's a new kind of real.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean this kind of real.
Oh,
this pink rabbit.
I knew you had some bullshit. Planned.
I'm done. Not really, but...
Well, with that, I think we've reached a good conclusion to the Free Cheese episode 161. Mm-hmm. And I mean this kind of real. One thing I do want to point out before we bring it to a close is that September 2016, our cover story is the 20th anniversary of the Nintendo 64, but more than just the 20th anniversary of the Nintendo 64, really digging into the influence of the Nintendo 64. So what does that mean? How did GoldenEye inspire all of our shooters for today? How did camera control in Mario...
How's it DK mode slappers only?
Son of a bitch. I wish that... Okay, can you please some point do a what if article about what if that was the inspiration we pulled for all of our modern games?
It would be for mine.
If we could do that. But also, how did Mario's camera control influence how we interact with cameras and games? Like, all of these kinds of things are the questions that we're asking, the things we're writing about, as well as our list of the Free Cheese's favorite 20 Nintendo 64 games. This is not the best N64 games. It is not the top N64 games.
So you're saying this is subjective?
It is very subjective.
Okay.
It is very much...
Isn't it always?
This list will start posting... If you're listening right when this goes up tonight, this posts in the morning, a.k.a. so Monday, September 5th, is number 20. And the way we did this was me, Marc, and Kyle each came up with our personal favorite 20. And then we assigned each of those a numerical number based on where we rank them personally, and then tallied up the scores, and then the final list, we finalized 20, and that's kind of what we're looking at. So we'll be posting one game to the list each day over the next 4 weeks, Monday through Friday, until we reach number 1.
Bam.
Goal.
Yeah. I'm really excited. Like, seeing the list, like, drawn out, because now we have it all planned out. Like, it's really fucking cool looking. Really cool looking.
We're doing stuff.
I know. Like, it's like, oh, shit. Like, we learned lessons from Metroid Month.
You're real people.
Exactly. And from, like, the last 3 years of doing things. 3, 4, I don't even know anymore. 4.
Well, longer for you than me.
2012 was the first, the old number 1 of the podcast. But the Free Cheese started, fully in 2013. But you can find that over on thefreecheese.com, along with this episode, all of our other episodes. You can find us on iTunes, where you can rate and review us. Give us some feedback. Send us feedback to podcast@thefreecheese.com. I've been asking for that at that email address, and I realized that I haven't checked that email address.
I was going to say, do you ever check that?
But then I checked it, and I realized that all I'm getting are...
spam.
Yes. I'll leave it. Spam is a good way to sum up what I'm getting.
So like free naked titty ladies.
Not that vulgar yet.
Okay.
But it's borderline.
All right. Sounds good.
But if you'd like to not be a free naked titty lady and send me some feedback or send us some feedback, podcast@thefreecheese.com.
You could be one, actually.
You could be one if you have feedback. I don't care about the free or the naked or the titties.
No.
I just want to hear, what do you think about the show, the website, anything in general. Send us that there. Or comment on this episode on the website. You can also follow us all on Twitter. The Free Cheese is @SomeFreeCheese. Marc is @aug_mental. Dash.
I exist in that world. I don't think you guys are ready for it yet.
That's fine. That is perfect.
I've never tweeted a single thing. It's fine.
That is
I was
perfect.
Ask, are you Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, guys, listen.
Follow Dash @Sonic_the_Hedgehog.
Holy shit, you found out.
I am on Twitter @TheFreeCheese. And with that, we're gonna close it out. Oswald, are you sleeping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And? Okay. Very good.
Oh, shit.
That's kind of everything that we're looking at here.
That's offensive.
Well, he didn't like No Man's Sky, so he can say that if he wants to.
That is vulgar.
Marc, thank you as always. Dash, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
This was a great episode. I can already tell it's gonna be one of those good ones, one of those real good ones that we look back on fun.
Yeah. No.
It's the truth.
All right.
It's the real truth and nothing but it.
It's cool.
Jingle all the way. Huh?
So what kind of truth do you mean?
If you're trying to get me to say the real kind, this kind of real kind.
The one where you hit the button?
That's the one.
Okay.